That's
and shit.
exactly it. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
exactly it. So
so
basically, the reason why I say it's not the same as like a Catholic and a Protestant is 'cause, like, in the end of the day, like it's the exact same religion, exact same book, exact same philosophy, exact same prophet. The only thing is like who should have ran the religion after the prophet died is what makes the difference. You know what I mean? It's exactly what you
It's
just said.
bas
That was
it's
perfect, perfect,
basically
perfect
January
definition.
6th. It's basically January
Again, sorry.
6th. Imagine you had
Yeah,
January
it's kind of
6th
like
and,
that's a very good
so
example. Yeah, January
you know
6th.
what's
and
Yeah,
crazy though? Like
that's
with the
basically it. Yeah,
example Homie was providing, I do kind of
yeah.
see what Captain was saying
Test,
there
test,
with
test.
like how when you have so many like cultures that are diametrically opposed and have so many different value differences and stuff, it does make it like way easier for people
All right, seems like this is.
to end up in a situation where they may not be the the most favored class of people or the most respected group of either cultures or values or whatever, right? And that's why I think
I mean,
most
like in
countries
America,
not
when
to
America
pro-
was like firstly founded, you guys didn't
All right,
like the
test, test,
Irish,
test.
right? And then after a while, it became like another group, and then after a while, it became another group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
There's
just
always gonna be like this one.
you
Go ahead.
need a
Sorry.
solid
Yeah.
constitution that kind of outlines that no cunt is gonna like disrespect any other
Test,
sort
test,
of
test.
other group. That all groups have to be all the same and don't
We have
piss
that
each
here.
other.
Like it literally, it is in our like so I don't know if you guys know about the Abrahamic family house, but like it's the only place here in the Middle East where you can go to a mosque, a synagogue,
Mm.
and a church, and they're all in
Okay.
the same building.
All
Damn,
yeah,
right,
that's actually
but
pretty cool.
that's sick.
what
The
about
Disconnect. Let's go. I wish my microphone didn't sound so echoey. What if I put it up close to my mouth like this? It still sounds echoey. Oh, Leo. Alrighty. Where do I gotta go for this stupid debate? See a link in event, top left server, event details. I'll go here, visit site. Oh, it's a StreamYard. Alright, if I want to do that, then video capture, Chrome browser, webcam, tough. Let's just do continue with YouTube, overclock. There a I don't have a screen capture on here. Add play capture, existing, laptop. Okay. Enter Studio.
Good content over there. We discussed in the UK.
How do I get this?
Liberal fuck this year. He's
Audio, speaker,
interesting.
mic. None of this is working.
But I would imagine it's the same rules for all of us on YouTube, right? Basically YouTube rules, I would imagine.
Settings, extensions, performance, autofill, privacy, performance, appearance, search engine default browser, on
You got
startup.
a guitar adapter?
System, maybe?
Ah,
Preset extensions about Chrome.
I can play some guitar. Sure.
To add a microphone to Chrome. More settings, privacy, security. Why is it in privacy and security?
Oh, well.
Settings. Is there more settings?
Figure out how to do
Things, more tools.
Redo this place. It take a lot of work.
Privacy, security.
Father-in-law gave me a compound miter saw. Quite a nice one.
Third party,
But it's
security,
huge.
site
It's
settings,
bolted to a folding table, which takes up massive
Camera.
space. Yep. Definitely. Oh, yeah, you
microphone.
can see it. It's in front of the.
Why doesn't it ask me to use? Goodness gracious! Why did you use StreamYard? Why not just use fucking Discord like a normal person? Mail.com. Copy. Paste. You fucking piece of sh. That's just gonna do. Yeah, there we go. Live stream, recording, contact for a podcast, webinars. Yeah. Create live stream test. Team settings, referrals, all library destinations. I don't think anything is going to work on this. That's kind of annoying. The our website. Settings, camera. We want my regular camera. Is that? Yeah, what does that say? USB 2.0 HD camera. Camera resolution, that's fine. Audio. Mic. No, we need this to be this one right here. Can you hear me? Okay. Speakers. I need this to be okay.
Yeah, that's what happens. And yes, welcome to my lovely wife. How you doing, Liberal Clock? Good to see you.
I'm doing all right. I don't know why you don't just use Discord, so I didn't have to set up a whole new thing for.
Hi, Smoke Wife.
That's
Yes, good to see you. Welcome. I'm gonna do a little bit of a jam on the guitar. Hey, Backstage Boxing, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Got a lot of Brits here. The old chip clip, which somebody finally figured out my roach clip the other night. It is a chip clip. It's probably RW.
I do. I do think Leslie believes it.
Roz Global, I don't know. Roz Alerts is the one I follow.
Basically, throw things
And, but, yeah. We'll figure it out. Smart
Is there
guy.
any other issue?
All right.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I guess. Don't you think that, like, if he was the election day is happening, the votes are like, yeah, let's go, like, count the ballots, we're gonna win. If that was like
Disaster over here.
I know, like,
Sorry.
everybody was gonna win,
There you go, clip.
even after he got in. That wasn't.
Those are the two I mentioned. I think you follow those too, right? Last Dance. Mm-hmm. I think those are very good ones. Headphone warning. Start off. Do a little clean action. A little drop beat. Alright. This is not what I wanted to do tonight. I want to debate. I think I gypped you guys on the jam last week, so got it out of the way early. Gonna bust this thing open in a minute here. I have been using this, which I use for my clean sound, which does give it a little bit of punchiness. So you might not notice a difference, but I do. All right. Thanks, Dafta. All right, dudes, I'm gonna pop some people on here. Last Dance, how are you?
All right, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
I enjoyed that, but I think you had the
Damn,
background noise suppression on.
I did. I forgot because I haven't been playing much.
I should have reminded you earlier.
It's all right. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add Liberal Club. Haven't really seen you here before, maybe once. How you doing?
I'm doing alright. How about yourself?
You're muted.
I'm doing alright. How about yourself?
Good, thanks. Good, good. what are you up to tonight, man?
I think me and Drone Tech at some point are going. I don't know if it's gonna happen here or if it's gonna happen like in Drone Tech's Discord, but we're gonna debate about January 6th.
Interesting. Well, it's certainly something we can talk about. I'm not averse to anything. It's just kind of an open format sort of thing here, so however it flows, it flows. You know, hey, look, it's Sarita, but she's not on camera. I'll leave her off until RW comes back, unless she wants to join in. Can't hear her. It's fine. What's your thoughts on like a debate going on here, Last Dance?
Well, I think it could be enjoyable. Well, you know.
You'll not usually debate here?
We do. We kind of just bullshit, and sometimes it turns into a bait. Sometimes it turns into a yelling match, you know. There's no real format going on here, you know?
Oh. Yeah, RW told me to come here. He said it. I might be able to talk about some of the Gen 6 or the Colorado ballot stuff here.
Sure. Definitely.
Hey, Marty.
Hey, Martin. Good to see you. I think the January 6th stuff, yeah, I guess it's pertinent because of the recent insurrection shit that they're talking about with Colorado. Cluck, do you think that was a legitimate decision they came up with in Colorado?
Do I think it's legitimate? I read the opinion from both of the court cases that was involved in that, and I think that it makes sense from a constitutional and a state law perspective. But I have a very strong value of that. I value democracy a lot, and I think that decision was very anti-democratic, and I'm kind of hoping that the Supreme Court denies Colorado on the grounds that he didn't get enough due process, even though by the letter of the Constitution and the letter of Colorado law, he did get all the due process that he's supposed to. I would want the Supreme Court to set the threshold for due process before you can be taken off of a ballot higher.
Do you think he committed the act of insurrection?
Well, the way that Colorado defined insurrection is a violent public disruption of a legal process. And and they also said that inciting such a thing is the same as engaging in, which was one of the issues they had were litigating. Therefore, Trump met the qualifications to be to be considered an insurrectionist under the 14th Amendment. And I agree that Trump did incite the violence of January 6th. If you're going to define insurrection as a public and violent disruption of the legal process, that was definitely a thing. That was definitely what happened on January 6th. So yeah, I would say that he definitely at least incited it.
I mean, that definition, I think, is completely useless. There are so many disruptions of legal processes, and nobody would really ever say they were all insurrections. I mean, that's just utterly absurd. So it's almost meaningless when you have as vague a definition as a violent interruption of a legal process. I mean, that really renders the notion of insurrection to be rather common and no big deal.
Okay, so here's the. Can I just read out real quick the exact?
I just have one more thing.
Okay.
His incitement of it, you say he's inciting it, but I don't think he did incite it. So I think that's even more dubious a claim than even the insurrection one. And the claim is not just that he incited it, but that he engaged in it. And the engagement is truly a stretch.
Okay. So real quick, I want to read out because I found it. I have a source document on this, and I found the section of the document. The exact wording that they used to define insurrection. So insurrection is any public use of force or threat of force by a group of people to hinder or prevent the execution of law. I don't know if you still think that that specific definition is too broad. It does seem like you got to have a group of people. They got to be using or threatening to use force in order to do this thing, which is to hinder the execution of law. I'm not sure how many instances you're going to have of that being a thing.
Yeah, I mean, that is still way too vague. I would say that that is a very pedestrian level of law breaking. And, that's a dictionary definition. I doubt you can find anybody that's ever been convicted of insurrection for something that minor. And, that just gets to the question of whether January 6th was an insurrection. The fact that it was whether or not it was an insurrection is really not the issue. It's whether Trump himself engaged in an insurrection, and that is, boy, that is extremely weak evidence that he did. I say that, I don't see how you can say that, and he's not been charged with that in all these legal cases that are pending against him.
Yeah, so in order for us to even say that Trump engaged in an insurrection, we have to at least agree that January 6th was an insurrection. If you disagree with that, then of course he didn't. To you, he didn't engage in insurrection because January 6th wasn't even an insurrection. So I think that that's the first thing that we would have to talk through.
We don't have to agree to that, but I could stipulate that for the sake of argument, certainly.
So, I mean, do you want? It's an interesting conversation if you want to talk about whether January 6th is an insurrection, and then, at the end of it, if we just want to agree to disagree and then go on to the next point, we can do that.
Well, I'd rather save that. I think. What am I hearing in the background?
Yeah, there's something going on.
Oh, hold on.
Are you listening to Destiny debate or something?
Yeah, well, I was while I was waiting to get in. I just never turned it down.
All right, no worries.
Yeah, I mean, since this is something that I think Drone Tech wants to have a discussion over, I don't want to rehash it. So, but I'll be looking forward to that if he does come on and discusses it with you. So that should be interesting.
Hold on. Lib Cluck is nuts. Trump. All right, so this is from my chat. Lib Cluck is nuts. Trump 2024. Love from Britain. Lib Chuck is mental. No, he did not. Not fact. That was all typed by the same person in 3 minutes.
Where? I don't see that.
In YouTube chat. My YouTube chat.
Oh, you're on your own channel.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, you're on your own channel. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we have to wait for Drone Tech. There's a chance he might not even show up.
Well, my only concern is that he'll want to go over this, and we'll have to rehash it twice. So.
He said he'll be on in a few minutes. That was 2 minutes ago. I don't know if he's coming. Hold on. Yeah, I think he's coming to this thing.
All right.
You want to talk about Colorado? Oh wait, hold on. That's what we're talking about. No. So me and Drone Tech are supposed to be talking about specifically was January 6th a FBI setup.
Oh, was it an inside job?
Yeah, that's what me and Drone Tech. We're not actually talking about Colorado.
I'm not saying it's an inside job.
Okay.
So we can't argue.
It's funny. RW says wife stole laptop, but his wife's right there with the laptop.
Yeah. I think we should put Sarita on.
I don't. She know. At least she knows she's here and on camera, right? So yeah. I'll. Oh wow, cup of tea, bringing in some I don't know. I don't know about that. I suppose
Yeah.
we should remove that,
Okay.
even though we'll still be able to see it here. I believe.
Are you doing it or you want me to?
You can, if you don't mind.
Nope. I don't mind. Remove.
You doing anything for New Year Eve, Liberal Cluck?
Yeah, I'm going dancing. I know that for sure. And I'm right now in the middle of at everyoneing my friend Discord to see if any of them are coming here to do like a New Year's party.
And your actual human friends, not computer friends?
Yeah.
Well, like, yeah, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Online versus real flesh and blood.
Actual, right.
Yeah.
You don't do anything Last Dance for that
No.
day.
No, I've over the years I've done stuff and I've not done stuff, and it's a big pain in the ass to do stuff.
Sure.
I mean, I
Carl Ambler, if you are still on my YouTube, you
I
are
guess
more
I'm
than
just an old
welcome to
fuddy-duddy
come to
now,
my
but,
Discord and talk to me about this. I am happy to do that.
it's just not worth the pain in the ass.
The Discord should be in the description,
agree.
but I'm not really sure that it is. If it's not, just let me know and I will post it in chat.
I mean,
So it's a challenge directly to
3
you,
drinks
Carl
and get
Ambler, if
pulled
you
over, you
think
know,
I'm so mental.
Right.
lose your license.
That's
It's
part of the pain in the ass is, just going out to drink is, you have to, in my case, I don't take a chance. I wait a couple, 3 hours before I leave the place after I've had my last drink. So,
or get an Uber.
or get an Uber, which is fantastically expensive these days for, at least going into Baltimore. Coming out of Baltimore is what's expensive. Going in is about half as much, strangely enough.
Baltimore's super shady from what I hear, but
Yeah, I mean, you go down to Fells Point. It's not so shady, but still, it's not. It's shadier than where I live. That's for sure.
right. I mean, from your perspective, do you hear like a lot of bad things about Boston per se? But you do Philly, and everyone hears about Chicago, obviously, right?
Yeah, I mean, mostly I hear, absolutely. I mean, but there's a lot of bad stuff I hear about Baltimore too. I don't need to go that far to hear all the bad stuff. But
And The Wire was The Wire from Baltimore.
The Wire was set in Baltimore. Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't help, even though it was completely made up. Like bars and clubs. Okay, so RW knows it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, it's definitely amateur night. Well, goes out anymore anyways,
Yeah.
all the way till midnight.
I go out all the time.
Do you?
Yeah. Why do you think I'm not streaming a lot?
What was that? You think when you're not streaming a lot?
Why do you think I don't stream a lot?
Oh, because you're out.
Yeah.
Do
I
you
mean, I'm
drink?
out or doing stuff.
You drink alcohol?
No, not really. Sometimes I'll drink like a drink.
Okay. So you're just going out to hang with people and dance, have fun, whatever, that sort of shit.
Pretty much.
That's cool. Oh, good for you, man.
Last Dance, what's your story? What do you do like around here? What got you to start coming on Smoky Steve's little shindig?
I'm not sure why I came on. I guess we were a group of people that knew each other more or less from a website called Live Leak, and as the years went by and things changed, the founder of Live Leak put on a YouTube stream called Trigger Warning, And Smoke Steve had an idea that he would do his own stream after Trigger Warning, and or as sort of associated with it, perhaps is the
Well,
best way. He would
Hayden
would
was
announce.
he was gonna end it, and I volunteered.
Yeah, okay. And Hayden stopped doing Trigger Warning
Right.
shows, and Smoke Steve did this pub,
Hmm.
and eventually I got the courage to come on camera. And
You did originally with Hayden, so with me it was easy, a no-brainer for you, I would think, right?
No, I don't think I ever went on with Hayden.
No kidding, huh?
No, never did.
Okay. And of course, Drone Tech was from Live Leak as well. Have you heard of Live Leak, Liberal Cluck?
Is that what we're on right now? I've never heard of this.
Live Leak was a website where, people went to die, is what, people kind of thought of it. It had a lot of death videos, a lot of war videos.
Oh gosh, like the edgy stuff that people are into for some reason.
Yes. But it also developed a really cool community of people who are slightly tapped in the head, but good people nonetheless, but clearly we're all there for the same fucked up reason,
Yeah.
It's not like you could be there and be like, no, I never came here for any of that shit. No, you were here for it originally, but you got to know other people. So, yeah,
I was there, like, my whole mission back then was to out propaganda the terrorists' propaganda. And that was my whole motivation back then, was just to make like Iraq war, post all those videos that showed us, kicking ass and stuff. That was my whole thing there.
Interesting. It was a great, I tell you, I think he would do really well right now, but yeah, you can't control like the comments and the racism, anti-Semitism, and homophobia that goes on in the comment sections. The advertisers see that shit, and then you lose all your advertisers in one day.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Yeah, he's got a movie studio now, right? Black Octopus.
Yep, exactly.
Oh my goodness. Drone Tech.
Yeah, what's up, man?
I was talking to Destiny.
Yeah. Well, I'm not like trying to make excuses, but I did go on completely, unprepared. It's not like I had prepared notes and all this shit like you were doing. I'm just going by what's up here.
Yeah, I've learned
to okay for that.
I've learned to not go into debates unless I have prepared notes. It doesn't work out.
Yeah, I did make some very basic notes, just so the points I wanted to bring up, but it's just I'm like obsessed with that stuff all the time, so it's in there. But yeah, I mean, the reason I wanted to bring those things up to him was because I wanted to see, if I was wrong. And there was a couple things there he did kind of get me on, but there was some things he was really stretching on, and it really I thought it was a pretty eye-opening thing when he started screaming about imprisoning Trump supporters, which is something I predicted, but we'll get to. And he clearly thinks he was serious. He's dead serious.
I don't think he's dead serious about
Trump supporters should be
that.
rounded up and put in prison.
I don't believe that he's.
We just lost Clark, by the way.
He's back. His device knock. He'll be back.
Okay.
What is Destiny like? Just like extremely progressive, far left. Like
he tries to be like pragmatic, and take. The left really hates him because of his stance on Israel, and he thinks people like me are complete, conspiracy theorist morons.
Yeah, he considered basically everything you had as deception.
Yeah.
So,
which
sorry for that, little man.
Oh, he's back.
I was fucking with my camera. I didn't realize it would kick me out.
I find his dismissiveness about Ray Epps just as odd as like everything else around that. It's like he was ready to throw Trump supporters in prison.
I don't think he's actually ready. Like if you were to get him in like a non-pissed off mood, he's not. He doesn't actually believe that Trump supporters need to be put in prison.
Did you hear him say that?
I heard him say it. I was in Walmart at the time, and I was, but That's like not something he meant. I guarantee you that's not something he meant.
What did you guys think about the
That's
point
on it.
of
He's
only
independent.
0.4% of the video being publicized? All the videos from January 6th. So for Tucker Carlson using that, he's basically saying that there's a lot of stuff that he's not showing because it would go against his narrative. But just the fact that only 0.4% has been released for the public to view, I thought was interesting.
Right, and we don't know that's the reason. It could be.
No, I'm not saying it is or isn't. That's just interesting.
Right, and my retort back to him was, you're acting like it's that this footage that we have is. We can't take it at heart because Tucker Carlson released it and he's cherry picking, and it's like, no, but what we were getting before was cherry picked, and he's adding more context.
Okay, so the only context that Tucker Carlson releasing those videos added was that there were peaceful people there at some points in the, and I would even say it would be most points of the riot. There were peaceful people there. Like that's the only thing. It's not that those videos aren't useful for anything to figure out what actually happened in the important parts of January 6th.
Maybe, but what I think they do show, what I think it shows is that the media and the Democrats have curated a very specific, focused image of what happened there. And that's why I kept bringing up the numbers, the discrepancy between the number of people there and the actual number of people that took part in violence, which was relatively small.
But that's going to be true. That's going to be true for. Go ahead.
It does show that there are points in time where the police officers have no sense of urgency for removing these people from the building, and almost, in a sense, not even concerned that they're there. That's a strange. That to me, if I was a police officer and someone had breached the building, I wouldn't be very friendly towards the situation.
Okay, so what I've got right now is no sense of urgency from the police.
Particularly in the shaman videos that you guys were watching earlier in the stream with Destiny and Drone Tech, that's an aspect of video time where the cops are not showing any sense of urgency or concern for whatever you call people that have breached the building.
Okay.
When you said shaman, do you mean when they're accompanying Jacob Chansley, kind of just nonchalantly walking?
Yeah.
With him?
Right. And opening doors and such.
Destiny argued that he got in violently. Because he got confused about what I was saying. I was saying that Chansley didn't get in violently. He walked in and then was escorted. For some reason, he kept accusing me of saying that the police let him in, and then that's not what I was saying. I was saying he didn't get in violently, which he didn't. And then he showed me that video.
Directly in front of him did.
Huh?
The people directly in front of him at that door did.
Right. But that's why he wasn't charged with any violence. He walked in behind those people, but he wasn't taking part.
Right. It's just
maybe that's a gray area that maybe both of us could have I was trying to compromise, but he wasn't. He was just into defeating me. So.
Okay, so here's the thing. All right, I'm going to start with the first point. What was it? Most people were peaceful, and that's absolutely true. But I would submit to you that is true for every single riot that has happened in the history of America. Most of the people in these riots that are in those areas are probably peaceful. And there are videos of even people in Black Lives Matter riots saying, why the fuck are you guys destroying our home? You guys don't have to live here, shit like that. So that's going to be true for every riot, and the media will focus on the violence on every single riot. I know in the Black Lives Matter, they were like, it's mostly peaceful. They were talking about Black Lives Matter as a whole. They were not talking about any individual riot. I believe that the media did cover the riots as riots. So that's the first point.
I'm sorry. Do me a favor, real quick. Do a Google search for.
Is it the CNN picture that you're talking about?
Do what?
The CNN picture?
No, not a picture. I'm just saying, look up, see if you can Google instances of the media labeling a violent left-wing riot a riot, and not just a protest or violent protest. They almost never call it a riot. I challenge you to find some examples. You might. I've looked into this, and I found a couple random examples, just random from random agencies. But when it came to network media, I found nothing, zero. So I challenge that. And if I'm wrong, hey, I'm wrong. But I would still say, even if you can find one or two, which I don't think you'll be able to, that's still what I'm saying is that it doesn't seem to matter how violent a left-wing protest, Democrat protest gets. they'll always call it a protest.
Okay. I mean, that's
And that's
fine.
in combination now with the mostly peaceful
So
thing.
yeah, this is something that I wanted to start this debate out with. I'm going to go ahead and give you the media is biased. They are hypocrites. The left are hypocrites, and that we do all the same things also. Because I don't want to hash that out. I want to hash
Right, well,
out whether or not January 6th was a setup by the FBI. That's what I want to hash out.
Well, it wasn't necessarily the FBI per se. I mean, they obviously played a part, but like the Capitol Police Chief, said that he believes it was set up, and he lists all the reasons. You want me to read those?
Yeah, I've already looked into that. So
at least it's at least worth guessing the head of the snake in that argument. Then.
All right. So do you remember the
go
reasons
ahead.
which he said that it was a setup?
Yeah, he was talking about like he was pleading for National Guard, and then he pled with generals and everybody, basically Pelosi. Nobody would get it for him because they said that they thought that the optics would be bad, which is weird. That's a weird response, right? And he also said that while he was giving warnings and hearing warnings about that this was going to be a big rally, everybody he told just like ignored him and blew him off. And he's like, what the hell is going on here? This is before it even happened. He's like, none of this makes sense how they're acting. And I pointed out before, like during the Trump inauguration, there was a riot and they blocked off the Capitol. So the riot never made it there, but they did end up injuring like 60 police and charges were dropped. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So he focused a lot on the security failures of FBI and the DOH, particularly failures to pass down information to the police chief, and he cited one of these.
Like, failure, though.
Hold on, he cited the GAO report, which does find there were intelligence failures, but do not attribute them to malicious intent. And the GAO even calls out the Capitol Police, which he was a chief of, for not passing down information to their lower ranks. So there seemed to be like issues within the Capitol Police. And when I was doing my research on this, it just seemed like it was a bunch of agencies trying to point fingers at each other. The FBI tried to point fingers at another agency. I think that DOA actually took responsibility for their failures. But yeah, I don't think that the Capitol Police Chief saying that this seemed like a setup was a he didn't have very compelling evidence. He said he was calling for backup during, but
even before, I believe there were warnings before, and there was even I'll have to find it, but there was a report, an FBI report about all of these parking lots being rented out, and that there was all this parking lot space opening up that signaled that it was going to be huge, like a huge event. They had a lot of little warning signs that, to me, it seems like they purposely ignored.
So my question to you is, you said something about them saying that they're worried about the optics of having a kind of a more of a military.
I'd like to just interject one thing here. I know a little bit about the Capitol Police, and they are a truly shitty police organization. I mean, they are total shit. So they if they seem like they're incompetent, they absolutely are. The most incompetent clowns around.
But this just seems all too convenient. I mean, I just told you that like there was a riot during Trump's inauguration, yet they saw fit for a much smaller thing, mind you. They saw fit to block off the Capitol for that.
So the reasons
they have no issues.
The reasons that I had been reading for them to
Can
have
I show you what I'm talking about specifically?
Yeah, the reasons that I was reading was that there was a huge public backlash to the crackdowns on the BLM protests. There was crackdowns on the protests before they were even riots. Yes, there was.
They're specifically talking about. I think what you're specifically talking about is Lafayette Park, right?
I think that was one of them. Yeah.
Right, but do you remember what happened with that? Like the IG report that came out about that?
What do they say?
So when that happened, the media, of course, turned it into a big anti-Trump story, saying that they gassed innocent protesters with the National Guard so he could get a photo op. Remember, and he has the Bible.
Yeah. So the IG report said something about it wasn't for a photo op, right?
No, it turned out to be legitimate, and they were violent, and it was literally an attack on the White House where they had planned to get in and physically pull Trump out. That was.
Hold on, I think you're confusing two different.
Lafayette Park was an
protests.
extension of the May. No, Lafayette Park was like the next morning that night. That May 29th, I think it was, or whatever, June 1st, those days, right?
Oh, I mean, I don't remember. I'm just I got
Lafayette Park. Yeah, that's what that was.
So do you not? All right. My question to you is: do you not think that there was legitimate concerns about optics when it came to having a larger?
We're worried about optics over the security of the.
But I'm not saying it was smart. I'm asking you: do you think that there was a legitimate concern about optics?
No. I think that's absurd. And this is after the IG report had already come out saying that what the National Guard did there was legit anyway. So
okay, there was multiple instances in my research of different institutions saying that we were worried about the optics. It seems like to me that was a actual thing that they were worried about, and it did drive their decisions.
Who's worried about what optics?
So whose fault then? It's not. It seems like you're talking about everyone pointing fingers in these agencies, and now it's just one giant finger pointing at Trump.
Well,
and
I think there's probably a lot of.
If you're talking about the security of the Capitol, that is primarily falls on the Capitol Police.
Well, what about the mayor? Doesn't the mayor play some part? And she was very hesitant.
Yeah,
they control the streets around the Capitol.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, the mayor was foolish and not calling for a more.
Yes, all these odd coincidences that all come together to
wait a
accomplish
second.
one goal.
Donald Trump gave his defense secretary full authority to call the Capitol Police whenever he wanted. So why didn't he?
Well, the Capitol Police were there.
Capitol Police don't answer the phone from the executive branch.
No, National Guard. You're right. National Guard.
Okay.
That's who I'm talking about. You're right.
Okay.
He had full authority to call the National Guard, and so does Trump.
Hey, Steve, can you play that video I linked in there just real quick? It might even be at the timestamp I'm talking about, but I just wanted to know because I think it's UK reporters, and they note, I've not seen it ever noted in any other report about the Capitol being blocked off. And so
what's the timestamp you want it at?
Well, I have it at 24. Here, let me
24 seconds. I started watching it, so I'll just put it back to 24.
Yeah, I think it's there. I think it's at like 24 seconds. It's right around there.
Sure.
I just think it's important. I think that's an important detail.
What is the important detail?
That they blocked off the Capitol for this riot that occurred this at Trump's inauguration. Why were they able to do that then, but not now? That makes no sense.
I mean, like I said, they had optics concerns, so they didn't have a big police presence there.
Oh, we can't secure the Capitol because of optics.
No, they said that they didn't have a big police. Nobody claimed they can't secure the Capitol.
I want you to hear what the reporter says. Hold on.
Okay.
Clock, he's going to play this.
Let me get the volume up.
I was actually there.
Sorry, go ahead, Last Dance.
I was at the inauguration in 2016.
Oh, cool.
In there, at it, not outside here with the you mean at it.
It's a big area.
Look at the title of this video too, by the way.
Demonstrations against the Trump presidency.
Or it says violent protests. The title of the actual video. Anyway, that's what I was talking about. It's not.
And then on the screen it says demonstration against.
Yeah.
So here, let's see what they say.
Capitol.
Oh.
Building.
Yeah.
Congress. So police will have sealed off that area, preventing those protesters being able to get through to the inauguration ceremony.
See, that's what he was saying. That's what he was saying right then. He was saying
Officials
the Capitol.
did say ahead of the event that they had organised or had catered for around 100 protest groups, and they were finding it difficult to do that.
This was at Trump's inauguration, right?
Where they could protest.
Do you know, if I was a partisan hack, I could totally like make the narrative that, oh well, they were heavy-handed on these people because they're left-wingers, and they and there was a narrative that right-wingers don't riot, so they didn't. I'm not a partisan hack, but I'm so I'm not going to make that argument. But I just want to point out how easy it is to make these conspiratorial arguments based off of things like this.
I just look for consistency. I don't know. You know.
Last Dance, were you aware of what was going on outside, these protests, these riots, that sort of thing?
I didn't see that violence, but everywhere I walked, there were protesters. It was.
Yeah, and you said that they were heavy-handed, Cluck? You said they were heavy-handed against them. They weren't. The charges against those protesters were dropped. Protesters.
No, heavy-handed in their police presence.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, from the video we just watched, I didn't see one cop.
Yeah, that's that particular footage. There's other footage where you can see more of where they're fighting with riot police and.
Okay, but there's plenty of footage like that for January 6th too. Like, okay,
literally the only footage that exists of Republicans rioting with police. It's it. That's it.
Okay, but okay, so
one time it happened.
Okay, all right, here's a quote
for years on end.
Here, yeah. So now you're getting into whether or not Republicans riot, which versus left-wing people riot, which by the way goes into the conspiracy that I just brought up. That I said it would be so easy for me to make based off of information that you're giving to me. So I think it's really funny that like you're feeding into a conspiracy that I just admitted is conspiracy. Anyways. I want to read this quote from the piece that you sent me about the Capitol Police Chief, who said that it was a setup. So here it is. Sun got approval to bring the National Guard at 2:10 p.m., which, by the way, is way after everything went down, at least an hour after. Before his approval, he alleged that he begged several generals, and these aren't like, so these are people under Trump, including General Mike Flynn, somebody that Trump appointed, and still is an avid Trump supporter to this day, I believe, to bring National Guard. The officials apparently told Sun they did not like the optics of the National Guard. So that means that even Michael Flynn has that in his head. He allegedly begged for their assistance to intervene. So my question to you is, if this was some big setup, why would like avid Trump supporter, QAnon hero Mike Flynn not send in a National Guard to make things look better, make things better?
I don't even think he was in the administration at that point.
He was the. Hold on.
Yeah, was Flynn still general? I saw that in the article, and I had to start thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute, was Flynn still general at that point?
No, he wasn't a general then.
He was long gone at that point.
I don't even think he was in the administration at that point.
Yeah, hadn't he already been prosecuted and everything at that point?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that I was wondering about that.
Well, we can look this up. This is we're not going to go with this as the
I thought of this one when it came up with Destiny. He read it, and I'm like, oh, he read it after I left, and I was watching a stream, and he read that part, and I'm like, wait, what? Michael Flynn was gone. Here, I'm looking that up right now. Michael Flynn. He was in office from he left in 2017, so he wasn't. That's a typo or something.
He was
okay.
there.
Well, I mean, that's from your source, so that was a source.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. I don't know what that means, man. You know what it is the guy, he was talking and he said Michael Flynn, but he didn't mean Michael Flynn.
Well, it could have been that he actually asked Michael Flynn, and because Michael Flynn has like the ear of Trump. So who did Trump delegate National Guard or 2 and 6?
I thought it was Pelosi who was in charge of them.
That
No,
came up
it's
too. And
it's
Not the National
that
Guard.
that was as far my understanding of that was fake news. Donald Trump has authority over the National Guard in D.C. and he delegated those. He basically told I think it's his Attorney General, somebody one in his cabinet that they could call the National Guard anytime they want.
Right. But I
Before
thought
everything went down.
I thought the Speaker of the House had some authority to that at the time. Was her
No, I don't think she has any authority at all.
at the time? Any Speaker of the House at any time?
No one in Congress has any authority over the National Guard at all.
Then that was completely fake news. Then that
I don't-
seemed to be very
yeah, I know. I saw that too. A lot.
everywhere at the time.
Yeah, I'm looking that up right
I mean,
now.
that's one of the reasons why there exists a Capitol Police for separation of powers reasons. The Congress has their own police force.
So
that they control.
look at this. So there's a CNN. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm bad about that. Sorry, Last Dance. Go ahead.
No, you didn't cut me off. I was done.
Okay. Well, yeah. According to CNN, so it says on Monday evening, McCarthy went on Fox News claiming Pelosi removed the Guard members after criticizing Pelosi's opposition to the use of federal forces during last summer's riots and protests. McCarthy claimed that after the inaugural, when these National Guard, these men and women defending us, sitting in the Capitol, she was kicking them out into the winter. So this is the conclusion is while the exact decision-making chain of events remains unclear, which is weird, again, another weird thing, CNN has seen no evidence that Pelosi was involved in removing the Guard members from the Capitol building.
Now, I think.
Wait, was that a Jan 6 thing?
I believe Pelosi can
Yeah.
kick them out. That I think is true. She just can't order them in.
All right, so yeah, apparently it was Miller. What's his first name? Christopher Miller. That Donald Trump basically said, do whatever is necessary to protect demonstrators that were executing their constitutionally protected rights. Basically, giving him the authority to call in the National Guard if he wanted to. But there is a little tidbit in this about him asking if the mayor of DC requested any, and he told him to fill the order if she does, but I don't think she actually ended up requesting.
Okay, so here I have something recent from May. Well, sort of recent.
Right. But my point to this is that like people under Trump had the authority to call in the National Guard. People who aren't rhinos, they aren't Democrats. They're just looking to make Trumples look bad, and they didn't. So why is that? Trump also had the authority, and he seemed like he wanted to.
No, so yeah, it looks like he made the request and he granted it. It was the request of the mayor. Trump approved it, and then they were gathered and then never authorized to go to the Capitol. And it says the authority was at the hands of Nancy Pelosi. Why didn't she authorize? And this is from what's his face? I forget his name, but I put the link in there.
Let's see.
Okay, so that's slightly different.
She
than-
testified. She's testified in this hearing, but there were a couple of conditions placed on them by the Army, which they complied with. To move the Guard would require authorization, which they never got.
Okay, that makes sense.
It says DC Mayor Bowser issued a letter.
Like car park. They weren't even given anywhere to sleep. Was that same night?
Oh yeah, I think so. I forgot about that.
I mean,
this says DC Mayor Bowser issued a letter to top government agencies saying that her police department would completely responsibly for this person tied bad the security on J6. Any agency who wanted to cross that needed advance permission from her. So they got a letter here where it's in the letter that she had to authorize it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's murky, and part of the problem for that is our media, who very picky and choosy about what they'll say
and what they'll investigate.
Right, exactly. They become investigative journalists as long as it's like to their ends. If not, suddenly they're like, I see nothing, no evidence.
Now, Pluck, when you had mentioned the FBI in your original debate subject matter, didn't you?
The FBI. Oh, this was about the part where the FBI failed to pass down information that they were gathering when it came to the threat assessments. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. What about it?
So how does that come into play here with what we're talking about?
So when there was investigations done on these things, it seemed like there was a lot of finger pointing. The FBI was blaming the other agencies. They also had some other things that they said. Let's see. So talking about tunnels, nothing illegal about it. But the DHS, I believe, took the most responsibility for themselves.
The
You
delivery
mentioned,
company?
huh?
No, I'm just being a dick. Go ahead.
And the Capitol Police tend to blame the other federal agencies, and it's not surprising to me that like the leader of an agency that was a part of protecting the Capitol would try and get heat off of them by blaming other agencies, just like the FBI is trying to blame other things. Um, uh, I do not think that the Capitol Police saying this was a setup is very strong evidence because he would have reason to want to not take any blame for what happened on January 6th.
He has a vested interest in passing the buck.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
It seems pretty damning, or I don't know what the right word is. If one individual called in National Guard and it was sitting outside the perimeter because they weren't given permission to come in,
Mhm.
and that person is then blamed for the event, it seems like conflicting. It seems conflicting.
Yeah, so that seems like something that the Capitol Police was supposed to do. It's a Military Times, which I'm guessing is a source that you guys would probably trust. Simply put, the National Guard only shows up to DC when they've been invited, and the Capitol Police did not extend that invitation until after the breach, according to a source with knowledge of the process, who was not authorized to speak about it on the record. So, yeah.
I mean, the Capitol Police would never make that decision on their own. They would defer that decision to like the Speaker of the House.
The Speaker of the House was on the phone trying to get there's video of that trying to get help to the Capitol. With
So wouldn't she know? Wouldn't she know that she could have easily said, "Bring them in"?
I have no idea what she knew or didn't know at the time.
I would hope that Pelosi knew that the National Guard was sitting a mile away.
So
waiting.
is the claim that they were standing by waiting for permission from the Pelosi to enter the Capitol? Was that the claim?
Based on the quote that he just shared in the back chat, yeah.
No, well, hold on. Okay. Based on what I just read, it seemed like they were waiting on the Capitol Police, but you're telling me that the Capitol Police wouldn't make that decision. It would without Nancy Pelosi, so I'm going to look that up.
Are we talking the National Guard with M16s and loaded magazines?
They were loaded.
Well,
they when they were showing video of them sleeping in that car rise park, I remember them having all their gear.
So conceivably, if they were there on January 6th, possibly more people would have died.
I mean, that's an argument you could
Possibly,
make.
or they would have had enough of a presence that people wouldn't have even attempted to cross the barrier. Yeah.
So here's one from AP. I don't have access. How do I get to show chat? When I press show chat, it doesn't show up. Does it not show up when I'm in full screen?
No, it doesn't. Yeah, full screen? No, you won't see the chat.
Oh.
Goodness gracious. Okay. Here's one from the AP. Full screen just looks so much better on stream. I'll read this out. Claim: House Speaker Nancy Pelosi blocked the National Guard from coming to the Capitol. AP's assessment: false. As Speaker of the House, Pelosi does not direct the National Guard. Further, as Capitol came under attack, she and Senate Majority Leader called for military assistance, including the National Guard. Like
Okay,
that's,
that's now I wanted to clarify what the authorities are here. So Pelosi controls the Capitol and the Capitol grounds.
Mhm.
The executive branch controls executive, government properties in general. The DC police control the streets around the Capitol. So the president can order the National Guard to do something, but he can't order them to enter the Capitol. He has to have Pelosi's agreement to do that.
Wait a minute. Yeah, and wait a minute.
Pelosi can't order the National Guard to do anything. She can, if the president has offered the use of the National Guard to Pelosi, and Pelosi allows them to enter the building, then they could enter the building. But
right. So do you think that it's that the Speaker of the House typically like is involved in decisions like that, or do you think that it might be the case that she delegates those decisions to the Capitol's police chief?
I think routine decisions are delegated to the police chief, but letting the National Guard enter the grounds of the Capitol, I don't believe they would be.
So does the police chief, and John Tech, you should be able to answer.
Scenario.
Yeah, so John Tech should be able to answer this. Did the police chief say anything about asking Nancy Pelosi or needing her permission to get the National Guard in?
Well, I'm reading this article, and it's just typical like partisanry, like masked as like straight news. It comes, if you get down here at the bottom, it's like Republicans have falsely laid the blame on Pelosi without mentioning that GOP leader McConnell also had similar authority. So all they're saying is like, oh no, it's not Pelosi's fault because it could have been McConnell's fault too, but they didn't blame McConnell. Of course, we're not blaming Pelosi, we're blaming McConnell. It's just like typical partisan bullshit. So Pelosi did have the authority to do it.
Well, she did. I mean, wait, she did try to call on the National Guard.
And the Sergeant at Arms reports to her. So they're saying the Sergeant at Arms is the one who does it, yet the Sergeant at Arms reports to Pelosi. Right.
The Sergeant at Arms.
This is just bullshit spin. This
So
article.
wait, the Sergeant at Arms, where do they fall on the pecking order compared to the police chief?
Sergeant at Arms.
It goes
Sergeant
Pelosi,
at
Sergeant at Arms, then police chief?
Pelosi and McConnell, Sergeant at Arms, and the other one, the
police chief?
No.
Whip?
The House. No, I'm sorry. The House and Senate Sergeant of Arms. One reports to Pelosi, the other one McConnell. So
okay, and then the police chief's
on
on
if Pelosi's to blame, so is McConnell. Fine, I'll do that. But this article saying she's being falsely accused. They always use language like that when they're defending. It's been widely debunked and shit like that. Yet you'll never find an article where they're defending Republicans like that.
Let's go with the timeline though. Let's just back up with the timeline. Earlier in that day, before the breach of the building, the option was put on the table. We have the National Guard. We want to bring them in. And then someone says, no, don't do it. And then that same person later, when they've breached the building and she's in the center of the building scared, is then calling them and saying, hey, can you guys come over here and help us out? Is that basically what happened?
Potentially, but she wouldn't have had the foresight to know that where they were going to get to.
The fact is,
even with all of the people that job it is to assess risk.
Yeah, I mean, I think the National Guard being there would have made a huge difference. If they all set up way before any of the shit started, I don't think much would have happened.
Exactly.
If they showed up when it was already going down, they might have ended up killing a lot of people who probably ended up maybe getting some jail time, but, it's a fine line, like, I can understand not calling them in once it was underway, in a sense that you might think it would cause a lot more violence than might occur. I don't know. It's a hard call, it's like, but yeah, if they were there from Jump Street, I think that would have been, we wouldn't be really discussing anything.
There's really no reason why.
Right, and you're looking at a simple logic and a risk assessment that would have had to have been on the table, and someone denied that risk assessment and said, don't worry about it.
So apparently there is a Capitol Police Board that approves.
That's the Sergeant at Arms. That's the Senate, and that's who that is. That's the Senate Sergeant at Arms and the House Sergeant at Arms. And they report to Pelosi and McConnell. I don't know. It seems like it's very murky, the whole thing.
So who's
we're supposed
now?
to believe that all these professionals all dropped the ball, which I get it. Like,
what?
I don't know. It just seems unlikely to me when everybody knew that this was coming.
Well, but why would they have expected? I mean, I hate to say this, but no one would really expect a bunch of Republicans to have a violent riot. They just wouldn't have expected it.
That is the
There was
exact
nothing
thing.
said before that. There was no people talking about that beforehand. That was going to get out of hand.
Oh no, absolutely. Hold on. Absolutely, there was.
They knew the Oath Keepers and stuff were showing up, right? Did they not think that?
Wait, hold on. So a part of the FBI's intelligence failure was a failure to share quotes from, and I've got a bunch of them. Goodness gracious. Oh goodness, y'all continue talking, and when I find them in this document, I will let you know.
I think there's an implication here from RW, and that these were Trump supporters, and that the person who told didn't want the National Guard to be there wanted some shit to go down to shine negatively on Trump and his supporters. Is that what you're kind of beating around?
I am more than happy to make that as my statement. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
And the questions that I'm asking because logically, if you had knowledge and information, and I know that they do, they have people under them that are constantly looking for data to present, to always know what to do. And so if you have 100,000 or more people coming and you have information that says it will get rowdy, the percent chance of it becoming rowdy is over 75%, and you don't set up Jump Street, that is illogical to me. I don't care if it sends the bad message.
Wait, yeah.
I disagree in how they did many things, and if I had the option, I would have done it very differently, despite how it looks to the whole globe.
Yeah, so you're saying with Wings of Wax, Nancy Pelosi danced a little too close to the sun, meaning like she maybe didn't think it would get to the level that it got if it was her who.
I'm not saying that.
I'm more like saying that. That's what I'm saying.
I 120% agree that the idea that bad optics would stop you from prioritizing security was stupid. I think that everyone that said that should probably lose their jobs, including the mayor and sergeant of arms who resigned after January 6th anyways. But there was a part of the FBI and DHS failure to share information, such as social media posts that said things like, "This is where we infiltrate," and when our elected representatives try to flee, they were emerge out of these endpoints, talking about the tunnels that they would be coming out of. What else is there? So talk about the tunnels without it being very specific violence towards the tunnels. We can't take action or do that next step. That was people's First Amendments. There's some other ones I have sprinkled throughout here, but yeah, there was something about killing them. The representatives. So there were Chappelle claims he came to believe that target law enforcement and kill him. That was a different thing. Never mind.
So this is data that the FBI had sitting that they didn't share. Is that what you're giving us now?
Yeah. So they didn't share this with like other agencies. And the FBI and DHS both had information like this and didn't share it. That was like a part of the security failures that the investigations pointed out. But they also pointed out that the Capitol Police, the guy who is saying that this seems like a setup, didn't share information with his lower ranks either, let alone information between agencies.
Yeah, really, he didn't, because during his interview, he made it sound like he was trying to share information, but there was nobody there to share it with.
No, like information within the Capitol Police force itself. That's what the
He acts like he knew what was up. I don't know. In the interview I saw with Tucker, he acts like he knew what was coming and everybody ignored him.
Who's he again?
That's Stewart or whatever his name is, the Capitol Police chief.
Well, yeah, I think he was showing, rightfully so, more concern about the security and the risk that these protesters were going to provide than the rest of the rest of the agencies. But I don't think that these agencies were showing this lack of concern and an effort to kind of bait right wingers into breaking into the Capitol.
I don't know. It seems like a honeypot of propaganda that they've used from the beginning. I mean, think of all the lies they told right off the bat, myths that continue to this day about like multiple police killed and things like that. And they
Right.
started that from day one.
Whenever
creating-
whenever you are covering breaking news, there will always be misinformation put out there. That's just the nature
They
of covering
still-
breaking news.
They still make the Biden like just said that like
Yeah, I
not-
hear it.
Okay, but
been hearing
Biden
it for
isn't the
2 years
FBI.
that lady in Maine who just took Trump off the ballot she said something along those lines.
Okay, so the lady in Maine isn't the FBI, and she doesn't have anything to do with January 6th.
But my point is that the myths that the media created surrounding this perpetuate to this day.
I mean, yeah, sure, the media is irresponsible when they cover breaking news. This is something I've agreed with you on since Jacob Blake.
Right, but my point is that right, and it is similar to that, isn't it? Almost like this is a playbook or something.
No, it's almost like we have a system that perpetuates these things because the media has a incentive to be sensational because that's how they make their money.
Right. If that's true, show me when this happens to the Democrats or to the other side. Anytime this sort of thing happens, it's always against Republicans.
It's.
I know I talk in absolutes, but sorry.
Do we need to wrap something up?
No, I'm just saying it's my boy, Base Welshman.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Welsh,
Yeah,
hey,
but-
Drone Tech,
Yeah,
before
but-
you disappear. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm not disappearing yet. But Cluck, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not going to go around researching. What do you want to see? Sensational things happening against Democrats?
Well, no,
Oh.
like you're like they just made a mistake. It's an accident. But every time this sort of like accident mistake happens, it always. Anytime I can think of it, it's always something
Okay,
that hurts.
John Tech. One day I will do that. I will do that research for you. I will.
It's just it's similar to the protest thing. Did you look for that? You probably not, but do
Well, I'm not
Last time I
going to.
remember
I'm
was a
not
guy
going to
going out
look.
to
I'm not
fire
going to look for things in the middle of this debate that's not relevant to the topic that we agreed on. I will look for these things later on.
Oh, hey, Mr. Kelsey.
It's sort of
Can
it goes to my argument that none of what we've heard from the mainstream or the government really about January 6th can be taken at face value.
Can I ask? I know you guys are going to go on this point more, but did anyone pay attention to California and Newsom saying that on January 1st that they're going to be giving free healthcare to illegal immigrants?
Oh yes, yeah.
Yes.
Illegal immigrants already get free healthcare if they go to the hospital.
For certain things.
Is
You
it
can
for
go to the
certain-
hospital for anything.
Well, no, it's different now. It's just like blanket coverage. I'm
Yeah.
just curious if, like, to me that's like a powder keg move. I think that's going to really rock the boat in tax ways and civil unrest because that was never voted upon. I think that was it was a very casual article that I came across. It wasn't a really big deal. When I looked at it, I was like, oh my god.
Well, they were giving them $5,000 credit, money cards at the border as well. There was reports about that. Like, what's the point of being a citizen, honestly? Because it seems like it'd be a better option if we just renounce our citizenship, leave the country, and then just come back in through the border again.
At least if you have to go to the hospital.
Just put your foot in the Rio Grande and then say you're
Right. Like, I
you're coming
renounce my
back.
citizenship, go, just cross the road, come back.
Can we
Okay.
identify? As,
So-
Last dance. That's exactly what we say in the UK for a dentist appointment. We'll arrive on the beach at Dover and we'll get a dentist appointment straight away.
So, John Tech, you want examples of the media being sensational and wrong against Democrats, and you want examples of the media calling left-wing riots. Is that what you need?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I will
don't
I will
know,
look into that.
sensational. You were saying to all these different things that keep popping up. Oh, all these professionals just dropped the ball. Oh, the media just dropped the ball and got the story. I'm saying these things are all intentional, not accidents. And part of
Covering
the
breaking
evidence of
news
that is that it only happens one way.
against.
Like, I'll give you some examples. The Covington kids.
Covering breaking
Like
news
every
against-
story they got wrong. That Rush Limbaugh, he came up with a term called the drive-by media. That's exactly what he's talking about.
you're saying that it only happens one way, but I'll only give you that for the majority of mainstream media because even on mainstream media, there's Fox and like Newsmax that will then do the opposite spin.
Sure, you're right. I
But
know I
it's-
speak in such absolutes, but
Right, and
Right.
that's against.
when I talk about the media, I am wrongly not including them, but fair enough.
Okay. So, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on the motives of the Capitol Police Chief when he was saying that that it
Well,
was a
these are things you
setup.
can never really know, I mean, it's
But
like
you can't. I just think that it's much more likely
that's
that
why
he's
it's
just trying to pass the buck, just like every other agency did.
Yeah, that
yeah.
dollar's been moving around a lot lately.
Well, I mean, is that what they're doing to Trump? That's why that's one thing where I think the whole Ray Epps thing, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not that he's working for any agency or anything. Maybe it's just that he's the guy that managed to incite this small handful of people. Well, it's over 372 people, but compared to the gigantic 120K group, right? That's a small chunk that I think he is totally capable of having incited. Destiny was calling me an idiot for saying that, but it's like if what Trump was said incited it, I would expect a much larger riot. You know
Thank
what
you,
I mean?
Dan.
Like,
Okay,
Yeah, well
so
played.
do you want to talk about this idea that you brought up on your debate, your stream about this topic? They were letting people in. Could you give me like a little bit of
yeah, I
um,
mean, so there's videos that you can see of Capitol Police removing barricades. Okay, these big barricades and literally waving people in. There's lots of those. There's well, I
Hey,
don't know how
Riddle.
lot, 2 or 3 of them. There's a couple, where there's a big mob outside and the police just open the door and get out of the way and let them walk in.
was that
I
the
mean,
one?
to me,
Was that the one with the garage door raising up?
that's one of them. Yeah. Isn't that the
Oh, yeah.
door? There was a bunch of controversy about that door, I remember too, because people were saying like there's something about that door that was weird. I don't know if that ever got resolved, but that it could only be open in a certain office, and that the fact that it was open showed that it was open on purpose to let these people in. I don't know.
Okay.
And yeah,
So I read up on the garage door thing. I don't think I have the links here, but
is that
from
is that what I'm talking about?
I have no idea if there.
Oh,
So what
well,
I
you read
read
into it.
was that they opened that door to let police officers out, um, because there was officers waiting to get
So
to
they
different
opened a
locations
giant
there.
garage door.
I mean, I
Another like that. It just seems like I don't buy it. Just all
well,
the
of course you're
excuses
not
are
going to buy it, but it's a completely
doesn't make
like
any
you
sense.
say. You said that they were letting down barricades. All the videos of them letting down barricades. This was after those barricades were breached. And when you see
No,
officer, yes,
no.
absolutely,
Let me show
yes.
you. Let me show you one. Let me show you
Okay,
one. Why is he waving them in?
he's waving in other police officers.
I mean, it's just there's all these different. I mean, that could be possible, I suppose. But I mean, how do we know that?
Because there's video from other angles that show that.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I can buy it. I'm willing. I'm willing to be wrong about this. Okay, I
All
definitely
right, show
am.
me the
I'm
video.
open to it. All right, I'm looking for it.
Well, look, there was a lot of video released recently, wasn't there? And it literally, I mean, I released the video on my YouTube channel saying it was a tour guide because it looked like a tour guide. I mean, obviously they had selected parts to suit the narrative, but there was certainly plenty of footage of people just wandering around with police there and just allowing it, and in
So
fact,
and
guiding them.
charging all those
So
people.
after the Capitol was breached and the Capitol Police was overwhelmed, there was a effort to de-escalate people that were already in there. So they're not going to be pepper spraying and fighting these
Hey, Riddle.
huge crowds of people
Well,
with the
there was no need. That's why, because no one was kicking off.
is your claim that nobody was quote unquote kicking off inside the Capitol?
Well, there was no one kicking off in the footage we seen. It was all chilled out. There was no ripping of anything inside. I mean, obviously there was in parts, but the footage that was released recently, it doesn't look like that at all in certain parts. And yeah,
Yeah, and the police was trying to keep it.
there was lunatics there, and we would I would love
So
to find out in fact who all those lunatics
yeah,
were. But there was lunatics there.
okay,
But the
okay.
vast majority of people who entered were just entered,
Yeah,
trespassed.
okay, but my point is that these videos that you are calling tours are just the police trying to keep things de-escalated. They're trying to keep it de-escalated because if they were to try and do what they actually want to have happen, them getting out of the Capitol by force, they would quickly get overrun and anger the mob
Okay,
or the
well,
crowd.
you're right. Hey, I'm gonna have to give this one the cluck. He's right about that. The barricade footage I had seen. He's right about that. Just because I don't know about if he's waving a police officer, but they're definitely moving the barricades, and the police that are staying there are definitely trying to put them back. So yeah, I was wrong about that one. There's so many of these videos; it's hard to keep track of them all.
Here,
I'll
Good
post
job,
this
Cluck.
one another time.
Yeah, you got him,
Hey, I mean,
Cluck.
like I said, I'm open to being wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, the Ray Epps thing is the other big clanger, isn't it? You know, you
Right.
avoid the guy, you avoid the guy for 2 years, completely say that the Republicans and the far right are trying to like make him as a scapegoat, but in the reality, he said it more than once, and he said it on more than one day. Let's storm the Capitol. But totally ignored, and eventually,
Wait, I would love to see the.
let me finish. Eventually, when you pick up on him, or the Democrats pick up, they do him on a misdemeanor, and like ta-da, mate. There's other people that are doing like 5-6 years for trespassing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when he says that, at one point, somebody nearby to him starts saying like, "No, don't listen to him." Some other people start yelling, "Fed."
Based Alaska.
Yeah,
Based Alaska. said that.
Bake Alaska was calling him a Fed for saying to go into the Capitol, and then the next day, Bake Alaska went into the Capitol. So I don't really know what the hell why you're giving that guy any credibility whatsoever.
Look, all right, I'm a live streamer. He's a live streamer. I remember him from years back. I tell you what, one thing I watched from there is that I would never repeat the same thing. And it wasn't too long ago when I went into an open premises and I ended up getting arrested for going into an open premises. So I fell trapped to that as well. You know, if that's what you do and you live stream for a living, well, you live stream because it's something you like, then you can fall into that trap by going onto premises that you shouldn't be on. But it doesn't make you out to be a riot, does it?
Yeah.
But there
I don't know what Bake Alaska's
But you
comment
can be
was when he did
trespasser.
that.
Yeah, you can get caught up in it, but you can't make it out. Like,
I'm just saying that, like, I don't know why you're giving him any credibility when he was calling Ray Epps a Fed for telling him to do the thing that he was doing. Anyways, I don't think there's, you prove me wrong, but I don't think there's any video of Ray Epps telling people to go into the Capitol on January 6th. That was all that happened in that one little moment in January 5th. And also, I want to point this out because you guys you hinge on this whole Trump said to be peaceful. Trump said to be peaceful. Well, so did Ray Epps. Ray Epps said to be peaceful multiple times, and there was even testimony of people say I'm not going to say people. Somebody.
He also
saying,
said storm the Capitol.
There's also video of him saying there's testimony of somebody testifying that Ray Epps was telling him to calm down and to be peaceful.
I have a question though. You're saying that because Ray Epps did something on January 5th and he didn't actually do it again on January 6th, that's an okay situation.
No, I think that Ray Epps saying that we need to go into the Capitol is not proof that he's a Fed.
It doesn't look good for him.
No, I don't think it's proof that he's a Fed.
Definitely not proof.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Good, we're on the same page.
It's also not necessarily illegal to say it on January 5th.
It might be illegal because you're telling people to trespass. You're telling people to break a law, but you're not. You're actually not telling people. You're also telling people to be civil, which is probably why his charges were so low because he wasn't telling people to be violent. He was telling people to just go into the Capitol, which would be trespass.
So I have a
And
question.
actually, was the Capitol even blocked off on the 5th, or was it open to the public?
He was talking about the following day. We're going.
That might be true. He might have been saying we need to go in tomorrow when it would be blocked off, but then he's got reasonable doubt when he says, "Well, I didn't know it was going to be blocked off that day." Like,
I have a question. If someone says all year long, go do this every day for a whole year. Let's say they did it for a whole year, but on the day that it happened, they said, "No, don't do it."
Was it Ray Epps saying to go into the Capitol and be violent?
As a morality.
Morally, Ray Epps was in the wrong. Absolutely. What I'm trying to explain is the reasoning why. One, he wasn't a very high value target for the FBI, and two, why he got such a light sentence.
I mean, wait, but that makes no sense. Again, he was telling people to enter and storm the Capitol. Both of those things.
He's telling people
he
to
even says at one point, "I'm going to go to jail for this probably, but we need to go into the Capitol."
Yeah, so he's telling people to go into the Capitol on January 5th when nobody went into the Capitol and was violent.
And then we're supposed to believe.
I maintain that is not illegal.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know. I don't know the legality of that.
To me, that's inciting a
just
riot.
covering his own butt on
Especially
that
when
one.
he's, especially, and again, Destiny would completely dismiss this point, but he admits to orchestrating it, like
to his nephew. Yeah. Okay,
right.
My question to you is: if Ray Epps is this mastermind FBI informant that's able to convince all
mastermind,
okay,
I didn't say mastermind.
Okay, but he was able to convince an awful lot of are right wingers just so
he's a plant.
Okay, are right wingers just so fucking feeble minded that they were able to be convinced by this guy who was dumb enough to be an FBI informant or a plant, and then brag about it to his nephew?
Yeah, I have to say yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
because like literally,
Trump-
Jake Alaska is the guy that called him out as a Fed and then proceeded to enter the Capitol.
Okay,
So-
well, I mean, I don't want to be rude, but I think that right wingers tend to be not very intelligent or logically inclined myself. So we agree on this, Drone Tech.
Not exclusively.
Present company excluded, of course.
I see.
Okay,
I
well-
run into a lot of dumb left wingers. So.
I mean, I looked into this for a while, and then when I watched the 60 Minutes interview done by that well, it was. I mean, I was never more convinced that he was involved, third hand. Either he is FBI, I don't believe he is, or he's working on behalf of FBI by someone else. Ray Epps and that interview, that whole 60 Minutes interview. I mean, if nothing else would tell you that was all stitch up, that interview would have told you it. It was just ridiculous.
Okay.
But then what you expect? I don't really expect anything different these days.
So, y'all don't have any proof that Ray Epps is an FBI agent, except for
We'll never have it. We'll never have it. To me, the most damning thing is just that the barrage of, venom and bloodlust for anybody associated with J6, unless
Apart
it's
from
Ray
this
Epps. Then
guy.
suddenly it's
Apart from
totally
this
different
guy.
narrative. It's he's a victim. It's a conspiracy theory. The Democrats play dumb. Then they know who he is, and he's done nothing wrong. And it's weird. It doesn't make any sense. And the fact that for multiple years there, no charges, no interest, and then they give him this little slap on the wrist misdemeanor for the cameras. It's just
slap on the wrist misdemeanor because he didn't actually really do
remember what I
anything
said, though?
that's
Do you
worthy
remember
of
what I
being
said?
charged.
Hold on,
What
clock.
was the
He
charge?
didn't incite anything. Nothing happened when he said to go into the Capitol.
Hold on. I think it's a possibility he's just a regular guy. He's not a government informant, but he is the guy that managed to incite this group. And if he's the guy that did it, you can't blame Trump.
I don't think he
And they won't.
incited anything. As a matter of fact, wait, hold on. The
He didn't
quotes.
incite anything. We're gonna storm the Capitol. Go
Who
into
stormed the Capitol
didn't
after he said
incite
that?
anything? What?
I'm mostly going to go to prison for this.
Who stormed the Capitol as a result of Ray Epps?
Huh?
Who stormed the Capitol as a result of Ray Epps?
Well, he was in one of the first charges to break through the stupid barriers lower down.
Wait, but who stormed the Capitol?
In fact, there's footage. There is footage of it where he speaks in someone's ear. 2 seconds after he speaks in some lad's ear, the barrier goes down by this lad.
Right.
Anybody know who that? Anyone know who that is?
It's Professor Snipes in a wig and MAGA hat.
No, that's Lives of TikTok.
Yep, she was there.
I was there too.
You were there?
Yeah.
Shit.
So he was part of the insurrection.
Yes, absolutely part of it. I was gonna go in, but I didn't.
No comments. Always no comments. It's different with the FBI, isn't it? You can't give that.
Let me say one thing about incitement. In the United States, the First Amendment protects your right to say just about anything, and it doesn't. In order to be guilty of legal incitement, in order for your speech not to be protected, it has to be it has to be involving imminent lawless action. So something a day later does not count as imminent. So whatever he said on January 5th is probably not legally
Well, he said
actionable.
on 6th. He was doing it on 6th too.
Well, I was just going by what Liberal Cluck said.
Yeah, I thought he repeated the
I did
statement
not
over 2 days.
Where's
Over
the
2 days he
video?
repeated.
I want the
About
video
the
of him
correct?
saying it on the 6th.
Is that correct, Ryan? He repeated the statement over a 2-day period.
Yeah.
I'll admit that I'm wrong about him only saying it on the 5th when I see the video of him doing it on the 6th. Because the only video I ever saw.
The daytime video is on the 6th, isn't it? The daytime
The-
video of him out on the street.
We'll just find it and link it. Like,
Okay. Well, it's just the footage. We all have them. There's nighttime footage from the 5th, and then the next footage after that is daytime footage. So I always assume that was the next day.
Cluck, what was he actually charged with?
well, Ray Epps charges. I didn't do any Ray Epps research. I should have.
I'll tell you. Well, it's a misdemeanor. Hold on. I think it was trespassing or being on government grounds or something. Let me see here.
We're not being invited.
Yeah,
on
like
private-
it was as slappy on the wristy as you can get.
It was probably all he was guilty of. If he did say on the 6th,
disorderly or disruptive conduct on restricted grounds is what it is.
Okay, so he was actually on the Capitol grounds.
Right.
Okay.
So
It's
there's
just-
people
again,
there's people who
the-
spent
the-
many years in prison for not being on the Capitol grounds, wasn't there?
He's not going to go to prison now. There's no prison time.
Is Samso the guy that hold on? Let me get his first name. Find his first name. Samso. Mr.
Will?
Mr. Samso.
Will Stansel?
Is he talking about Sansol?
No, not
Will
Samso.
Stansel?
I think he was there.
Was Sanso there?
I thought about going. I thought about it, and I'm like,
I feel like he said he was. The guy's kind of a journalist, right?
Sonasol? Yeah, I guess so.
All right, Ryan Samso. Is he the guy that you're talking about that Ray Epps was whispering to tell him to tear down the barricade?
I know. He whispered to him not to go through the barricades or whatever. But I always laugh at that because I'm like,
I was talking
laugh at that.
to Base Welshman because he's the one that made the claim.
That's what he said. That's what Ray Epps says. That he told him not to join a riot and don't riot. Don't.
Yeah, and
go
apparently
to-
Mr. Samso said that a man that he didn't know came up to him and whispered to calm down or whatever.
Right,
So
but
it checks out.
So here,
but
here's the thing.
he had trespassed that land with that chap. They were next to each other, running through. So what you're telling me when they got to the barrier, he said, "Oh, don't push through the barrier, then, pal. Just
Right.
stop
He
right
told
here."
one
Is that what
guy.
he said?
Right,
I mean,
he
that's-
whispers in one guy's ear not
so
to go.
what's your theory? What's your theory about why this guy was testifying that that's what happened?
Well,
Get themselves out of trouble. I don't know.
By protecting Ray Epps.
The thing is, if Ray Epps didn't want him or anyone else to encroach the grounds, then what is Ray Epps doing, running beside him, already breaching grounds?
You said that he whispered this when they first took down the first barricade.
Yeah. Well, from the footage you could see, he whispered into someone's ear, and as soon as he whispers into that man's ear,
Mhm.
the barrier went down via this man. So even if he did tell him not to do anything, the
It didn't
barrier
work.
went down.
Yeah, it
straight
didn't
after.
work, but this seems like proof that Ray Epps wasn't intending on having a riot of people going into the Capitol.
Well, but by him being next door to him when they're actively breaching the Capitol ground barriers.
Did Ray Epps go onto the grounds?
Between
Yes, he
public
went on the
area,
ground.
Because
between public area and sort of restricted government area, which
There's
is
a
where
video
they
where
were breaching.
There's a video where they're pushing like this giant Trump sign or something up towards the barrier, and he's there helping.
Was
Guys
that
give
on
a
the grounds
lot-
of where they were
lot of
supposed
on
to?
the grounds, on the
Okay.
steps, on the steps.
For just being some random dude that doesn't matter, man. He's sure is pretty pivotal to the
Right,
debate.
he's like at the front, pacing up and down the line like the whole time.
No, I mean,
like,
but just like all the little groups around the whole world that are having these types of conversations about this guy and going back and forth on the information about this guy that is,
Well, that's because
is definitely guilty of stuff, but is getting kind of a slap on the wrist treatment is just strange. It's just
No. Okay, it's not strange because there's about 30% of the country who has come up with this conspiracy around him to try and wait as a part of their effort. Hold on. Let me,
questions without good answers is what it is. It's
right, coming up with a
conspiracy. We're
yes.
simply saying he did these things and is being treated differently, and it makes no sense.
Well, he's being treated differently. There's testimony of one of the guys, the first guys that broke down the barricade. There's testimony of him saying that Ray Epps was telling him to calm down. And when he was saying storm the Capitol and all that,
So
he was saying peacefully.
If I spend several days inciting a riot, and just before it starts, I tell one guy in his ear whispering to calm down.
But he wasn't. He wasn't inciting a riot.
The problem is calm down was code word for breach.
I mean, is that like I become a Christian right before I die and I'm good to go?
So the Capitol.
Hey, hopefully that works, Drone Too.
The Capitol.
Try it.
So liberal. Did we just get this out there, right? So they avoided him. He was ID'd within days. Okay, he was on the FBI list at the start, and he got wiped off after 24 hours. He was ID'd, I think.
You know the reason for that, right?
By the public. Well, no. Well, I'm just telling you the timeline.
Yeah, but you know the reason why he was taken off the list, right?
Well, let me just give you the timeline. All right, so let me just give you the timeline.
You're gonna give me a timeline that looks suspicious, but then I'm gonna have to add all this context to really.
Well, you can add that. You can add the context. So he was avoided. He was avoided for about 2 years. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Ryan. So we knew who he was. So he was, and everyone was talking about this chap because there's footage of him talking shit, right? Talking crazy shit that no one else has talked about. But this guy, this 6'4" guy, seems to be like proud as punch talking shit. He's avoided for 2 years. Everyone else is nicked, including the 80-year-old women that basically wobbled on the fucking grounds. Wobbled on the grounds with the walking sticks. They've all been convicted. They're all being served up for like stupid things, maybe even 4 years, 3 years, 70-year-old people. This is retarded, right? Especially if they were non-violent. If they just trespass, and these sort of sentences were crazy. And this twat was avoided for 2 years, and then when he was picked up, he's given a slap. This is nonsense.
All right, so let me paint this picture because this is based off of the things that happened. Ray Epps, the day before the January 6th break-in in the Capitol, was telling people that we need to go into the Capitol, which is a common thing that peaceful protesters do all of the time.
He said storm the Capitol.
But he said,
why would you even say that? Like Cluck, why would you even say that, dude?
Why would I say what?
Why? What? Come on, man.
It's storm, isn't it?
It's something that people do. So anyway,
do we not have protesters inside the Capitol all the time?
Ryan, was it storm? Should we just get this ironed out? Because I don't like the way. Because unless I'm wrong here, I specifically remember him saying we need to storm the Capitol.
Yeah, I just put a link in the thing if you want to see it.
So let's get it right, liberal. Because what you say and what reality was is different there, and it makes a big difference.
Well, it also makes a difference when he said that.
He said it the night before.
Well, yeah, I know you keep on saying it. Did he say it twice? We get a confusion of whether it was 2 days or 1 day.
All right, hey, I'm gonna mute you guys so I can listen to this. How the hell do I mute you guys?
He said it, period, and then it's like, but a lot of people do that, so it doesn't matter. Like that. That's how it came across to me.
Well, that's not what I meant. But anyways, can I not mute you guys on this? Can I not deafen?
I don't know. There's a button to mute everybody.
That's what I was just talking about. I want to listen to this clip I found.
Yeah, all right. So
YouTube.
everyone, just be quiet for like a minute.
Yes, Steve.
But we can't mute.
21 seconds. I just need 21 seconds.
Right?
Oh wait, never mind. I'll just take my headphones off.
There you go.
There's footage of Ray Epps.
Yeah, but wait. Yeah, you can mute him.
You can mute him. I didn't.
But I was just
no, that
that's
doesn't
funny.
help him.
But I was just it works for this purpose, but I can't mute the audio in my ears from you guys and listen to another tab on YouTube, which is pretty stupid.
Muting him doesn't help though, Steve. Muting him makes it so that he can't talk, but he can still hear us.
No, he knows that. Steve is saying he can't do what Liberal Cluck wants to do.
Right.
So liberals fact checking this now, is he?
Okay, what am I fact checking?
He's just watching it. He's absorbing it.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely says it more than once.
Yeah, so that
on
was
more
like
than one occasion.
He did. He mostly said we got to
have
go
him
into the
muted. Okay.
Capitol, but then he said to some people storm the Capitol. But
No, well, he said to that one guy that we're here to storm the Capitol.
he's telling him his intentions. He's like, this is what we're
And
doing.
he whispers. He whispers.
really
He
telling them that
whispers.
that's the
Yeah, but your guys' narrative was that he was telling people to storm the Capitol, right?
telling
Well,
people
when you
to
go,
enter the
when you
Capitol.
go, when
Then
you
he
when
tells
you
Big
go,
Alaska,
what,
we're going to storm the Capitol.
Yeah, so he was telling people to enter the
you go up
Capitol.
to when you go up to someone like Baked Alaska, who's quite in, he's quite a buzzy bee around that sort of scene at that point. Stuff going on. I've seen the footage, right? And then he goes up to me, whispers in his ear. He says, "That's right. We're going to storm the Capitol tomorrow."
We're here to
Right?
storm the Capitol. He's going, but like he's also going around saying we need to enter the Capitol. We need to be peaceful. We
And
have.
Baked Alaska, Baked Alaska.
Wait, is he not?
laughs
Is
it
that
off.
not true?
Baked
Did
Alaska.
I make that up? Is that AI?
No,
You're making a bit. You're making a bit up so far. So
I'm gonna
calm it
gonna
down.
make what you just said a bit more accurate.
Okay.
What happened was he was telling people, he's like, now I'm gonna go to prison for this probably, but
Mhm.
we gotta go into the Capitol. And Baked Alaska's like, what? No. He's like, Fed, and everybody starts chanting that, and he's like, peacefully.
No, it was a few people that was chanting
Every time he said
Fed.
that.
Wait, hold on. Don't take. It was a few people that was chanting Fed, and then there was a few people cheering on what he was saying.
No, I'll get you the footage. I've
Okay.
seen it a
Yeah, just
gajillion
the
times.
footage.
But yeah,
I don't know. Wait, I don't know. Like the thing is, you
Wait,
could,
what I don't get is that why is it that you ask me for your chance to give your narrative, and every step of the way I get interrupted. I can add in the part where he was being where Baked Alaska was chanting Fed. I can add in the part where he said he whispered to this guy to storm the Capitol, and my story still holds up.
All right, here. Look at the link I just posted.
Okay.
That's what I was telling you.
All right. Yeah, I'll do that, and then y'all can talk all y'all want, and then I'm gonna come back, and I want to be able to tell you my timeline.
All right, we'll vote on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to piss Libra off, but I just thought, like, why die on this bridge? Because this is like, I mean, it's a bit of a bull.
Because it's the San Francisco treat. That's why. I don't know.
Rice-A-Roni?
Yeah, man. No, Hamburger Helper, right? No, is it Rice-A-Roni? It's having Hamburger Helper.
It was Rice-A-Roni, bro. They don't eat Hamburger Helper
Damn
in San
it.
Francisco.
He was clearly treated differently to the
comes down to that.
vast majority of people that were involved in that day. I don't know anyone else who was treated like that.
I thought
Yeah,
it
it
was
just seems like
I
the
still
general
don't-
bloodlust for anybody associated with January 6th, except for that guy. It
Yeah.
makes no.
All right. So yeah,
I love how the media actually like supported that guy too. Only him.
Hey, how can we confirm that that's Forg and not some infiltrator with the Forg logo?
It's him.
I mean, the way
Well,
he's
you don't know.
talking
You don't know if
is
it's him.
the way that he's talking is how
You're
I
taking a
am used
chance
to him
because he doesn't
talking.
really show himself.
Okay, so yeah, I was wrong about the cheering. It was like a few people that were like saying no, and then they started chanting Fed. It wasn't everybody.
That's when he said the peaceful part.
Huh?
It's like peacefully.
Okay, so
All right, I'm going to add Forg in. Be quick on the draw.
He only said that like
Don't
in
worry, if he
response
whips
to
it out,
the-
Okay, so wait. All right, so
All right,
here,
it's him.
here's the story. So January 5th. And you guys, yeah, if I say something that y'all want to add some context to that you think makes a difference, then go by all means stop me. But all right, January 5th, Ray Epps whispers to Baked Alaska, we need to storm the Capitol. He tells the crowd tomorrow we need to go into the Capitol. The crowd says no, or not the crowd, a few people in the crowd says no and starts chanting Fed, led by Baked Alaska. And then he says peacefully, right? Then the next day,
This is all on the 5th.
yeah, this is. It looks like it's the nighttime video, and Drone Tech said the nighttime video is on the 5th, and the daytime video is the 6th.
Totally legal.
So, and it would make sense because by dark, I'm sure Ray Epps was gone on the 6th.
Oh, there's video of Ray on the 6th.
Yeah, daytime
right.
video.
But I'm saying that the order the footage comes in, it seems to show like I've always seen it. It's night footage first, then the day.
Okay, so the next day.
It makes sense.
The next day, I need y'all to tell me which footage I am missing and show that to me. With this
okay, I
timeline.
got you.
So the next day, is he pacing back and forth? Saying what's he saying when he's pacing back and forth?
I'll get it. It's the same thing. We got to go into the Capitol.
We gotta go into the
Well,
Capitol.
where is him?
He's also
Where's
constantly
him
telling
on
people to stay focused. He's like, stay focused.
on the 6th? I thought there was footage of him pushing a sign into the
There
police
is.
officers.
Yeah, I posted a picture of it. I posted a picture.
Yeah,
of it in the chat.
Steve, can you play these videos? So if you post them, can you play them, or Last Dance play them, so everyone else gets to see them as well, like the viewers?
You posted
where's
a
that
picture?
picture?
Is it the one after the Fed one?
It's one of the links in there that I posted recently. There's a picture. It's a screenshot where they're pushing the sign. You can Ray Epps is circled.
Is it the one that starts Greg Price 11?
No, hold on. It's not that one.
Wait.
Oh, January 6th, right here.
Oh yeah, it's the one with James Hardy. It's the second link. After Trump also wants to build a new FBI building.
Okay.
Right before Ford gets in here.
Is it in the private chat or the
I'll
regular?
Why is this just
It's
a picture?
private.
Why is it not a video? The video.
There's a video of it too. I have video of it in one of my videos. Slowed down. Here, I'll see if I can bring that up because I can't find it, of course, now. But thankfully,
Yeah, of course it's gonna be harder. Yeah. So what is he saying while he's pacing back and forth? Did you find that?
supposedly he's telling people to stay calm and all that kind of stuff. But there is one video where he is telling a guy, Destiny showed it to me, where he does tell a guy to stay calm. But my point is he's pacing up and down. He's making himself an authority leader figure. And he was telling people that they were going to, telling people to enter Capitol and secretly told Bank Alaska that his plan was to storm the Capitol. So
wait, if he's telling people to enter the Capitol on January 6th, then that is going to change my perspective on that whole thing, because him telling people to enter the Capitol on January 5th with nothing happen, that's one thing. But if he's telling people
he is saying tomorrow, he's like, tomorrow we need to go into the Capitol. So he is saying like, tomorrow we're going to be doing this.
Okay, but that was on the 5th, he said that. Did he tell anybody to enter the Capitol on the 6th?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
so-
pretty sure, and I'll get you that video.
Okay, yeah, if you can find that, I would love to see it.
If you can get that, Ryan.
Here's
I
the
mean,
timestamp.
yeah, liberal of all things to, like I said, we're having a good conversation here, and I know you're a good debater with the boys. Love you on the channel, like, but I don't want to annoy you with all this, but I don't think this is a hill you want to die on with this Ray Epps business, because it just stinks. I mean, that's the way it just feels all the evidence that I know that I've personally seen.
Here we go.
It just stinks, like, you know what I mean?
Here it is. That's him supposedly.
Here we go.
The red hat.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Is that the? Oh no, I put a video in there. So if you click the last link and I just put in there, it's a timestamp on a slowed down video of him.
YouTube?
Yeah, the YouTube link. That's from my thing.
Is that your channel?
So is this the
that's from my
sign
video.
thing?
Yeah, this is where you can see him pushing. It's slowed down so you can see it, but he's
I'm
one
just-
of the guys pushing.
I'm just
I
going
don't
to
see
push
the
that back.
sign.
Well, I just showed it. Which we can.
Yes.
But
We need the video.
that's not the same as the picture you showed.
Yeah, it is. It's the same. It's just here.
That
It's
sign
the same
was
big
huge.
sign,
It,
and-
it would be in frame.
Right, Ryan, can you present on your side? You can present that video from your side, can't you?
He
You
cannot.
do yeah, you can.
I don't think he can.
Yeah, you can.
Can he?
Oh yeah, you
If,
can.
yeah,
Hold on.
press
I
the
gotcha.
options.
All right. So we're about here in your video, Drone. I'll just play it while you're messing around.
All right. Oh no,
Enter
you're
the
good. Go ahead.
Capitol. But they don't even mention the fact that he's on video multiple nights inciting people and telling them to enter the Capitol. And he's also on video engaging in some of the violence. Here's Ray Epps actually involved in the fighting with riot police.
Oh wait, that's not the sign. My bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's not the sign. That's what else.
Look how far- he's right in the middle of that. He's right in the middle of that.
He's in the middle, but do you know that he's there to try and fight police or trying to keep?
Liberal, you were
Look at that
saying
boy.
that.
Yes.
He's not on the outskirts, is he? He's not on the outskirts.
Do you think?
Grandmas with cancer who just went in and walked around were charged and put in prison, but somehow.
Okay.
All right.
Do you think that right there is enough to say that he like assaulted a police officer or something?
That screenshot also that he
Well, the
posted.
screenshot doesn't show anything either. It just shows him pushing a sign. I didn't even see any police officers in this. There's
a video of Ray Epps during the day. In the Capitol. There's another one during the day.
I'm saying, do we need to go in the Capitol?
Yeah, in the Capitol. Now, you know what? I can't be for 100% sure this is from the 6th, though. It seems like it, because all these people are walking to something, right? Oh, no, that is definitely from the 6th, because it goes straight into the protest from there.
So he said it 2 days on a pop.
And he's saying it at He's saying it right there.
But we ain't seen it, right? We're not seeing it. We're not seeing it, right?
Oh, well, okay, here, I'll share it right here.
Oh, God, here we go.
Wait, so that first video, I think he posted 2, and I haven't watched the second one. Oh no, the one that you post, the one video just shows him saying we're going to the Capitol, not in the Capitol.
Oh God.
Right, but wait, isn't that the exact same thing that Donald Trump told them to do?
Can you bring it in? There you go.
Yeah, this one right here.
That's where our true problems lie.
Let's just see what he says here.
We are going to the Capitol.
That is on the 6th, though, right?
Yeah, probably.
Where our problems are.
As soon as Donald Trump is done
he's
speaking.
Just saying to the Capitol here.
Stop speaking. We are going to the Capitol. The Capitol's in that direction. Let people know. Spread the word.
I don't see anything illegal there.
Wait, yeah, he's not telling anybody.
There,
to go...
you're right. There, I can't argue with you.
Okay,
he
cool.
doesn't say go in the Capitol there.
Let's see what this one says.
So that footage.
All right, noted.
Here's another one from. Here's another one. 1 second. Oh wait, you can see it. Never mind.
All right, noted. But one more thing. Yeah, so can we go up there? No? When we go in. Are we going to get arrested?
There you go. When we go in.
You don't need to get shot.
Oh, there you go.
Wait, hold on. Go back. Which one was that? Do you see what time it is in there?
Oh, he said, "Can we go up there?" They're there right now. They're talking about it.
Up there?
Listen.
No? When we go in. Are we going to get arrested? Leave this here.
He's got a gun. He's telling.
It's not a gun. It's pepper spray, because Destiny actually mentioned that part. He brought that up at some point because I remember him saying something about that, but he didn't realize the significance of the fact he's talking about going into the Capitol on that day.
Wait, that looks like unless it's super early in the morning, but that looks like it's in the evening.
They're talking about right now.
No? When we go in. Are we going to get arrested? Leave this here.
See, are we going to get arrested if we go up there? That's then. That is at the Capitol. I know it's probably the film quality looks really bad for some reason, but.
All right, hold on. I'm really curious.
Listen to what they're saying.
All right, noted. But one more thing. Yeah, so can we go up there? No? When we go in. Are we going to get arrested? Leave we go up there?
You're hearing all that, right?
Yeah, no.
Are we going to get arrested? Are we going to get arrested if we go up there?
I hear that, but my guess would be that there were some. I don't know if this was if this was the 5th, then there was probably.
This is when they're at the Capitol for sure.
Yeah, but he was at the Capitol on the 5th too, and he was at the Capitol later.
Yeah, but you were saying it's 20. Well, the last answer saying it's 24 hours before, so it doesn't count.
And all those other videos, he's talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna go into the Capitol. On this one, he's talking like we're in the process of it right now.
No, when we go in, leave this here. That could be him talking about the 6th still, like the next day. The reason why I think that happened before was because the Capitol was breached at around 1 o'clock. If it was that time, then it would be much brighter, unless it was a problem with the film quality.
Yeah, the film was shit, so you can't take lighting into.
I mean, I will completely admit that that's a possibility. I would love to know for sure what was going on with that.
I've always just assumed that those videos were happening on the 6th, and the one
prior to it, when he's saying, when he's done talking, we're going to the Capitol. The people are walking away, and he's saying the Capitol's that way. I think that was the 6th.
I think
Yeah, that was the 6th. But what he's saying is we're going to the Capitol, which is the exact same thing that Trump said.
Right, but he's like, when we go in.
Yeah, that one could be damning.
And it's like, we have tons of video of this guy, but just think of like what we
You
don't
stretching
have.
your wrist dance?
Yes. So who, like...
Oh, that's stretching a different muscle.
Careful, careful. My granddad will be.
If my
saying
dog
your
does
goose-
that,
You
we're in
just gave
trouble.
him the bat signal up.
You'll be saying your goose stepping in a minute. My granddad will come on.
Yeah.
We've been perfecting our goose steps ever since Migrandi accused us of that.
That was the bat signal. He's coming.
I'm seeing if there's any other footage. Oh,
I
wait,
mean,
here we go. Here's the
so,
sign. Oh, here we
people-
go. I got the sign video. Here.
I
Ray's
want to
putting the
discuss
sign.
after this what people think he was an actual federal employee agent of some sort.
Well, he doesn't have to be an agent. He could just be an informant. He could be any. He never has to actually be working for the government to be, doing their bidding.
Yeah, but informant or
Wait, hold on.
There you go.
Wait,
He was
okay,
helping.
Could you
And
post that?
1 second
Could you
he
post that
wasn't.
link?
Yeah.
Oh.
there it is.
See, he would definitely. Look, just look at this. He would definitely be a person of interest. He's right in the melee.
Well, wait, he was a person of interest.
Yeah, wait there. Just if they had that footage alone, just that footage we're just seeing now, right? Now, what we have got on that footage was available from day one. Yet they avoided him like the plague for
All right.
fucking 2 years.
Listen, he was a person of interest. They had his name on the list. He called. He gave his side of the story. There was testimony from other people that was saying that he was telling people to be peaceful. There's video of him telling people to be peaceful. That's probably why they didn't really
Okay.
look into him.
He doesn't say peaceful once. What we've got footage of him saying is storm, enter, go into the Capitol, right? Yeah, and all that footage was available near enough straight away after. So this is nonsense what you're talking
We got
about.
testimony
Total
from the.
fucking nonsense.
We got testimony.
He's talking nonsense.
Have you found yourself defending any other January 6th related person?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second. No, that's no. So here's what I said about January 6th on January 8th. I said that if those people were right about the election being stolen, then they would be fucking heroes. That's what I said. I defended all those people because I think they were just tricked by Donald Trump saying that the election was stolen. I think that's yes. So I defended every single January 6th person. Now tell me which other January 6th person is the right so avidly against as Ray Epps? None. And that is why I find myself defending him. Because I don't have to defend anyone else against you guys.
What about the Antifa guy? They hate him.
The one who filmed
What about the
Antifa
guy?
What was it, Paul Sullivan or something like
Is
that?
there a conspiracy against the Antifa guy that made it all the way up to Tucker Carlson?
It made it in right-wing talk circles, that's for sure.
He's real. The BLM
He is real.
member. Or they kicked him out.
Wait there. He wasn't he the one that films the killing of the veteran?
Yeah.
So are y'all saying that this Antifa guy was also a Fed?
He sold
No,
the
he
footage
got-
as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he sold all of his footage to MSNBC and CNN. And
Yeah.
everything.
Where would I
like
have
that.
contention for y'all's narrative against this
He
Antifa
was
guy?
inciting people a little bit. I don't think there's a big conspiracy.
He's
around
not
that
interesting,
guy.
really.
Yeah, I don't.
That's why I don't talk about him.
Yeah, well,
I just wanted to be complete.
Calm down.
I'm
he's
just
not a
saying,
person I've really-
I don't get where John Tech. I don't get
Look,
why
look,
you're.
you're mentioning things like he's told people to be peaceful and stuff. We've just shown you footage repeatedly where he's saying go into storm.
No, you showed me
and
one
all
video.
that footage was available. Yeah, you just cherry pick what's available.
Base,
right?
Welshman,
Look,
what
it
you
doesn't matter
showed
if
me-
he said
Base,
peaceful.
Welshman,
It doesn't even matter if he said peaceful because in the
Okay,
in the
cool.
next sentence
Do you
he's telling
hold
people to go
Trump to the
riot.
same standard?
What's that?
Do you hold Trump to the same standard? It doesn't matter that Trump said to be peaceful.
He said protest peacefully and patriotically at the
Yeah.
Capitol.
So the fact that he told people to go to the Capitol, that makes Trump responsible, right? Because even though he said be peaceful, it doesn't matter, right?
Well, he did.
Well, it was the actions too. It was the actions.
Yeah, but when did Trump say to storm the Capitol? That's the bit I want to understand.
Trump.
No,
He
no,
whispered
he
in
didn't.
one guy's ear that we're
Dance
here to
back
storm the
chat.
Capitol.
Well, but he said that was his intention as he told everybody we got to enter the
So
Capitol.
what do you think
He's
he
telling
meant?
everybody we
Wait,
gotta
what
enter
did,
the Capitol. He
So
tells Big
this is
Glasgow,
this
we're
is
gonna
what I,
storm
this
the
is what I
Capitol.
this is what I mean. This is what I mean. This is
what
what I
does
mean. This is
wait?
what
What
I
does
mean. We need to
what does
storm
storming the
Capitol.
Capitol mean to you guys?
This is like I said. Why die on this hill?
All right,
Why
from a
die on
guy,
this
wait,
hill?
from a guy who's on video telling people we need to go to the Capitol and be peaceful, and it has had testimony from the guy who took down the first barricade that he told him to calm down, and was telling him people in testimony after that he was there to try and calm people down. He was there and trying to calm people down. What do you think he meant by storm the Capitol?
Well, what would you think?
I would think that he meant that he was going to go
there
into
he
the
is.
Capitol with overwhelming numbers,
No,
peacefully.
I think it was that there was going to be a literal storm there.
No, I think that he wanted
He
people
was
to
just
go.
guessing.
I
He was
think
talking about the weather.
I think
Just
that
like
on January 5th, he wanted people to go into the Capitol peacefully.
They've changed
Yeah.
around StreamYard a little. Sorry, Aphid, I
Okay.
missed you down there.
All right, Liv.
Wondering where he was.
So I've been here since you were playing the guitar.
There's three layers now. It used to just be two, and now there's three underneath in the green room, I guess you would say. So
Now hold on, I do gotta watch that video of the sign. That was the last one I clicked on, I think.
I think I'm done with this topic though. I'm really interested. Did you guys see? I posted it, but Donald Trump posted on Truth. He posted on Truth that he's gonna build a big, beautiful FBI building. It's like what?
What will he call it?
In DC. I don't know if you're aware, but the FBI has selected a location in Greenbelt, Maryland, to build their new headquarters.
Right, and he was saying, no, we don't want to move it. We just want to build a big, beautiful new one, right here, where all the crime and rapes. It's something like that. Yeah.
Patrick, did you say you're done with this topic?
Like, why are you kissing up to the FBI? They literally tried to take you out. Like,
Patrick, did you say you're done with this topic?
I'm kind of done, dude. I've been doing it all day, man.
I understand because you had
my
that
Destiny for like 4 hours.
you had that debate with
I
Destiny,
would
but
say he's not just done; he's well done.
like that video of him
Beef
with the
jerky.
people that pushed that gate does not negate the idea that he was trying to keep people peaceful. Like he wasn't the one pushing the gate. He wasn't the one. Wait, he wasn't the one pushing the gate.
Here's
Yeah, but like I said, if that was the only footage you had, right, then he would definitely be a person of interest, right? But all that other footage was all available within like a couple of days.
But
it's bullshit. It's bullshit when he says, "Oh, he explains it," and because he said peaceful to one guy, which I haven't seen anywhere.
You guys, wait, stop right there. Wait, stop. You said, stop. You said because he said peaceful to one guy. No, you're just wrong about this. You said because he said peaceful to one guy. No, he said peaceful when he was announcing to the crowd that we were going to go to the Capitol. He said storm the Capitol to one guy.
Peacefully.
But you guys want to harp on the storm the Capitol part when he said that to one guy.
So the FBI will turn around. Are you trying to tell me that the FBI will turn around and because he's turned around and said peacefully in one statement and said storm it in the next statement?
I think
and later on the next day he said we need to go in. You think that negates what he said previously? Because it doesn't.
I think that the FBI didn't have him as a high person of interest because there wasn't really much that they could charge him with.
But that 70-year-old pensioner was of interest, wasn't she? The one who went in with her crutches.
Who?
She was of interest.
She got prison time for illegally parading. And they got her to come out and trash
She was
Trump
actually
too,
inside the Capitol, right?
Huh? Yeah.
Moriarty wasn't in the Capitol. Like I would imagine that probably had something to do with why the FBI.
Epps was on his the
Yeah, but when you
misdemeanor
talk
charge he got was for being on
when you're talking about a terminally ill patient, a cancer patient, right? That basically just
Right, they
trespassed,
hunt
and
her
that's all they
down.
did. They didn't get
Right, they
involved
hunt
in
her
any
down.
rucks or any trouble or anything at all. Just got
Yeah,
carried
but, so
away and
my
wobbling.
guess,
Replace the
One of
dead
the,
horse with the live horse to kick for a while.
hold
yeah,
on. My guess would
they
be, my
hammer
guess
these
would be
people.
that
They hammer them.
my guess would be that the FBI looked into the people that were actually in the Capitol
Nay.
before they were looking at the people that never actually went into the Capitol.
Yeah, all right.
Nay.
I would
For the
say
most
that
part.
no, I wouldn't agree with that. I think they looked at the people who were committing violence outside of the Capitol against Capitol police officers first and foremost.
Yeah, but those people probably went into the Capitol also, right?
I don't know. Some of them were probably just happy to have beaten the shit out of some Capitol police officers.
I guess that's possible, but we've had to like find somebody who didn't go into the Capitol, but was outside beating the shit out of police officers and got looked at before Ray Epps in order to actually prove that.
I hate
Yeah,
that like this
that's the
one
problem,
riot.
is we don't really have comparables. Like the guy we pushing the sign up, right? Well, there's like 5 guys pushing the sign up. We have to look at the other 4 and see how they were treated to really say whether Ray Epps was treated differently.
We'll
That's-
never know the
that's
truth.
issue.
It's just, it'll always be a conspiracy theory. So,
So what about the federal government suing Texas if they enforce
Yeah.
the border?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Any thoughts or knowledge on that? Because I didn't read the article, but
I
I
do
know this
want to
situation.
add one thing here that I think Drone Tech makes a good point, and we dismissed. And that is that it's true that news media, there's Fox on one side and CNN and MSC on the other. But it's different for newspapers. There really is no right-wing, well-funded newspaper. There's no right-wing New York Times. There's only the New York Times and maybe the Washington Post, and they're both left-wing. And these are the kind of stories that take a lot of resources, that take a team of reporters, that an unbiased New York Times could get to the bottom of this. All these things we're arguing about, they could go and find out, was Ray Epps treated better or worse or differently? And these are relevant questions. And
There's no appetite for it, though, is there?
we're not going to be able to do the research, even if it's all out there. It's too much work, and
That's
only
the spirit.
I mean,
Yeah, but he's right though. He's right.
they have a staff of researchers, the New York Times, to do.
I'm
this.
not disagreeing with you. I'm just being a penis.
That's funny. No, that was hilarious, dude. You're so right.
I think that the idea that you're going to look at something so huge as January 6th, everything that was going on in that, all of the footage that we have of that, and you pick out this one guy, Ray Epps, and create this narrative. Wait, hold on.
Come out.
Yeah, I know you didn't. The right. I'm talking about you as in the right wing in general. You pick out this one guy.
You can almost say he glowed.
You pick out this one guy, Ray Epps, and say, why isn't he being treated the same as this person, that person, that person, that person? And then you create this narrative. You can't. I don't see why you think that that's like worth. Hold on a second. I don't see why you think that that's worthy of creating this grandiose narrative that he's this FBI informant and that's why he's getting all this special treatment.
I didn't say that. When did I? I've never said FBI informant. In fact, I had to keep reminding Destiny today that I've never said.
Wait,
that.
so what do you believe then?
Well, I've said that like he could be anything. Who knows?
Like, but what do you believe?
Hold on. I even said he could just be a regular civilian. That if they paid more attention to him, people would blame him perhaps for the incitement and what happened, and not Trump. And they want people to blame Trump.
But what do you think is the most likely scenario?
I think that outside of it just being nothing, and it's just the way it worked out. Outside of that, I think it's most likely that he just gets in the way of the narrative. I think that's probably the most likely. But
so you don't think he's an FBI informant?
He could have connections. He was in the Oath Keepers. Maybe he was an informant for the Oath Keepers. I don't know.
But you don't think that he was like an FBI, somebody sent there by the FBI to instigate people?
Yeah,
absolutely. I'll put those words in my mouth.
And that would make sense in line with all the other stuff. Like they make sure that there's not going to be a
comeback.
and they know, and then they instigate it because, and then we didn't really talk about this, but there's lots of video where the whole crowd is totally peaceful and there's police like throwing.
Yeah, we
grenades
were
at the
we were gonna
crowd.
get to that, but because I got research on that too. But this right. So wait. So do you think that
The
it's
guy got shot with a rubber bullet, like killed, didn't he? Or I'm not sure if he died, but he looked
no?
messed up.
Ashley Babbitt was the only one that only protester that died.
Well, another guy got shot in the crowd by a rubber bullet for no reason.
Okay. So wait, when it comes to Ray Epps, do you think it's the most likely scenario that he was a plant from the FBI sent there to incite people, or do you think it's the most likely scenario that he was just some dude, some Trump supporter that ended up inciting people?
You can only pick
No,
those two.
I think it's probably, if not an informant, the next most likely scenario for me is just a regular guy who did incite it, but and because of that is a problem for the narrative against Trump.
So, but you think your most likely scenario is that he is an informant or a plant?
Well, can we just clarify something? Why would an informant be part of the process? Wouldn't an informant more or less kind of be observing if they were an informant?
Well,
right.
if they're
Background operation.
Inciting.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, you're right. And but
even
informants.
when he was whispering, he was trying to help out a guy. He's like, "Hey, you don't go. I'm trying to help you out. Like, I know what's going on. Don't you go." Maybe that did happen. Maybe he did whisper that to that guy, which is kind of weird to me. Like, because just like everybody pointed out, you can see the video. It starts right then.
Well, it's easily explained. Wait, John check.
Around this guy.
That is easily explained by the idea. That is easily explained by the idea that he wanted people there in large numbers, but he wanted people to be peaceful.
I mean, I would not smoke, Steve. I think it's
my
important
real plan is to storm the Capitol.
Yeah.
Peacefully.
I think it's important to point out that the FBI does have a bit of a track record of entrapment.
Right, the Michigan kidnapping.
Oh
case
goodness.
where
Okay, so which one do you want to do now? Do you want to do the FBI or the police were shooting peaceful people, or do you want to do the Michigan Whitmer thing? Because I did research on both of those.
Okay, either one.
Okay, so
yay.
Tangential to that, to this, the Michigan. I'm sorry. Look, I have prepared a lot for this debate.
Research. I'm with you, man. Go for it.
Okay, Gretchen Whitmer. So why do you think that? Wait, why do you think this was an FBI setup? The Whitmer case.
So, as far as I know, basically the FBI set up this guy who was literally like a homeless guy eating rats, like some druggy homeless guy that was eating rats. They got him and gave him a bunch of money. Basically, told him what to buy, what to do. They put together a team. Like, didn't every single defendant get off?
No, that's far from what happened. So
three of them, or was it three of them?
What I am hearing from you right now is that you think that this the FBI set up these people in what were they called, the Wolf something? Let me see if I got the name of that group. I did not put the name of the group. I'm an idiot. But you think that they set up this right-wing group that was planning on kidnapping Gretchen Whitmer, but you don't really know what happened, like the details of the case.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with it like I am other things, but yeah, somewhat.
Okay. So I just want to point out, and this is because I want people to have better ways of thinking. I want people to think more rationally and logically about these things. I want to point out that as a small piece of your narrative when it comes to the Jan 6 being a setup is the idea that Gretchen Whitmer case is proof that the FBI is constantly doing this, and you don't really even know the details about this.
Well, here's
case.
what I know. I know that the cases. I'm pretty sure the cases were dropped against several of them. There were at least 12 of the team. 12 of them were all FBI informants. Like, most of the team was FBI.
Okay, so there were 14 men charged.
Right, 12 of them. 14 charged?
Yes, 14 men charged. There were 3 informants and 2 agents. Do you know the difference between those two?
There were 12 informants.
No, there was 3 informants and 2 agents.
It's for the shitload.
Hold on, wait. I'm willing to be wrong on this. You can link what you're reading when it said 12 informants.
One second,
I'm reading a couple other. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll catch up.
So here's what I got, and I'm gonna be straightforward with you. This part came from Wikipedia, which is why I wanted you to link your thing because I'm willing to be wrong on this. But yeah, so there, according to this, there's 3 informants, 2 agents. Do y'all know the difference between an informant and an agent?
I think so.
Yes, an informant's just a regular schmuck who they trapped somehow.
Well, actually, I'm glad you phrased it that way because hold on a second. Let me find it. Okay, Big Dan, one of the informants. The informant that they collected most of the records. This was not a guy that they just tracked somehow. He was a member of the group before becoming an informant, and he was concerned about radicalization of the group. So he contacted the authorities, which is how he became an informant. It wasn't some guy that they trapped. This group was already becoming radical, and this guy was getting concerned about it. That's why he contacted the authorities and became an informant. I've got that right here if y'all want to see that. Hold on.
I'm posting in the private chat the stuff I have here.
So they're the Wolverine Watchmen, and yeah, Big Dan was an Iraq war veteran.
Yeah, I'm just reading that.
And he apparently joined to keep up his firearm skills, but then was put off by the radicalization and contacted law enforcement. And apparently these guys posted a YouTube video, which probably wasn't too smart. I mean, these guys seemed like idiots, man.
Yeah, they were for sure. I'm still reading this. I should be better versed on this, but
I read this when I was doing my research.
All the informants, I'm like, psh.
I read this when I was doing my research, and it's just basically talking about the 2 people who were found not guilty.
Yeah, but how many people were? So how many convictions were there?
There were 14 men were charged. 5 were found not guilty. Now those other 3 were people that weren't even charged with conspiracy to kidnap. 9 were found, 9 were found. 7 of them were found guilty, and 2 of them pled guilty to their charges. 6 men were charged specifically with kidnapping charges. 2 pleaded guilty. 2 were found guilty, and 2 were found not guilty. That means 4 out of the 6 men that were charged with kidnapping were in one way or another found guilty. And then there was 3 informants and 2 agents.
Well, conspiracy to commit kidnapping was the...
Yeah.
They didn't actually get her.
Right.
Well, yeah,
Adam Fox got it. Ty Gabrin got it. Caleb Franks. Yeah, I mean, there's other shit though. Material aiding a terrorist and membership in a gang. Pete Musico got 12 to 20 for that. And 2 of them are in ADX Florence, which is a really, really high security, like the shoe bomber is there and stuff, you know? So, Barry Croft.
Here's the indictment for the actual people who got conspiracy to commit kidnapping. Oh, wait. Hold on a second.
There's a...
Oh, yeah. So Fox was saying he needed 200 men to storm the Capitol building in Lansing, Michigan, and take hostages, including the governor. Did the FBI put him up to saying that? I don't think
this
so.
One says, FBI concocted Whitmer kidnapping plot, acquitted says.
Can we switch to Aphid combing his beard for this topic?
Hell yeah.
ASMR, man.
Well, RW, you remember yesterday when we were talking about how you said that Jan 6 is played out? And I was like, no, I actually like these topics because there's a lot of information out on them now, a lot of accurate information because it's not breaking news anymore. And each side has completely different realities that they're living in. And I like combing through the facts of the matter, the same way we did with Ray Epps, where Joan Tech was posting videos and we were finding out that he was saying this or he was saying that and when he was saying it. I think this stuff is really interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. I'm just a little tired of it because, I've been at it all day, so I'm a little tired.
I know. I understand.
it's just harder for me when like we're presenting information and it's like, well, he said that, but you know, other
he
people
meant
say
this.
that. So
Well, okay, so if you want, yeah, like with the, he said that, but Trump's also said that.
What do you mean? What do you mean by storm the Capitol? I mean,
So Trump
pretty
said that.
fucking
Then why are they
obvious.
accusing him of doing it?
It
Of
just looks like
inciting it?
it just looks like it comes down to personal, interpretation. That's just what it seems like.
Yeah,
Because
and
I'm
I
not saying that
for
he's
most
definitely an
side,
informant, but I'm saying
nobody's
it's
going to change their mind at this point when it comes
right.
to
I
the
mean,
topic.
it's very spooky, the whole thing.
I mean, he doesn't work directly for the FBI, but I'm sure he could have been, like you said, employed, outsourced.
what does a specific job title for them mean? Like if he is an actor that's part of a movement to cause a bad thing to happen, but we're arguing about his specific title. I mean, I don't find any value in that. If we want to argue was he part of something nefarious or not, you know, that's cool. I think the answer is yes. Do I know who it was for? No, but it makes sense that it has to do with the elite and the powerful wanting
RW,
something to happen.
the topic
So
was
That's where
January.
I'm at too. Like, I don't quite know what's happening, but something is definitely going on there.
RW, the topic was January 6th setup. If Ray
Yeah.
Epps being an FBI informant, telling people to go into the Capitol on January 5th, if he was an FBI informant, that would be a really big deal. If he's just some random schmuck on that believed Trump's lies, then that's not such a big deal.
No, well,
Well,
I just said
it
what I
is.
believe, but would I be correct in saying yeah, but would I be correct in saying that the FBI boss, when asked at the Senate how many field officers were on the ground on January the 6th in the crowd, he refused to answer that question outright. Am I correct in saying that? Can someone fact check me?
Yeah, that's completely reasonable.
Okay.
Why would the FBI director say anything about any potential informants they may have in these groups that may be currently trying to gather information?
We didn't say informants, it was agents.
Either way, why would they say anything about?
Because he's being asked at the Senate.
Okay.
It doesn't mean he has to answer.
That would be.
It doesn't, but at the same stage, if you're going to answer that question, it would be at the Senate, and he's refusing to answer the question, so people can just look into that when he could have answered the question.
But that
Is
would
this
be
the thing with Tom Cotton? Is that what you're talking about?
that would be putting the operations in which these agents and informants are trying to accomplish at risk.
Well, it's all over now, isn't it? They've nicked everyone. They've nicked everyone. That question was posed, I believe, in my memory, a couple of months back, 4 months back. So everything was all fucking convicted and done by that time. So you're not doing anything now, are you?
Welshman,
I just give you a number.
I have a different.
Okay, I work for a prison. There is information that I cannot share with the inmates. If an inmate were to come up to me and ask me about the information that I can't share, like let's say if an inmate comes up to me and be like, "Hey, did inmate Smith, were they the one that told you that information about me?" I'm not going to tell them yes. And inmate Smith wasn't the
Damn
person.
straight. Here's a shank.
Yeah, if inmate Smith wasn't the person, I wouldn't tell them no. If inmate Smith was the person, I certainly wouldn't tell them no. Yes. What I'm going to say is that I cannot give you that information. I cannot answer that question either way, because if I start telling people no, and then I refuse to answer when the answer is yes, they're going to figure that out. So if this FBI person were to start saying, "Oh, we have 16 people in this," first of all, she like saying that we have this many people
What harm would
undercover
it do?
is
What harm would it have done 4 months ago when posed the question at the Senate to say, "Of course, I had agents on the ground." You know what do you expect?
what
There
harm
may
would it do?
still be there may
angle.
still be informants in some of these groups that need to be protected.
Well, whether there was or wasn't informants in those groups, the FBI director wouldn't say anything.
There's a different point to be made though. There's information we don't know that we can speculate and guess. But then you guys were arguing about how Ray Epps said something on one day, but he didn't say it on the next day, so therefore it's not a big of a deal. And it's like here we have information that did happen, and you're looking at what someone was saying, which was to go and do something, and then because he didn't do the next day, then you're saying, well,
Doesn't
then you
matter.
couldn't possibly be this or that because it didn't happen on this day. And it's like you're looking at all this
And he's
information that happened, and then you're like sugarcoating something to fit
but
the
he said
narrative.
peacefully.
So,
But he said peacefully once.
RW,
He said
RW,
peacefully once. It's pathetic.
what
Isn't
I
it?
am trying to do is explain to you what in my mind is the most likely reason why Ray Epps wasn't a high value target for the FBI.
Oh, there were a lot of people that weren't particularly high value targets that got.
But what does it matter if he was or wasn't? If he was an individual that caused more bad things to happen on that
Because
day, what is the value of his title with a specific
Because
organization?
the conversation isn't about whether or not Ray Epps is a good or bad person in regards to January 6th, where he did good or
It's
bad
what he
things. The
says. It's
conversation
what he
is
says.
the conversation is was January 6th a setup, and as a part of that that question, people like Drone Tech and I guess Base Welshman over here says that Ray Epps is proof that or is a part of it could be a part of the proof that that January 6th was a setup. And as a part of proving
Does he have to be
that,
from the
they,
FBI?
huh?
Does he have to be a part of the FBI for that to be true or not true?
Well, what's the other scenario in your mind?
Who would be
Who
setting
knows
them?
who the fuck he's working with?
Huh?
Who knows who the head of the snakes are and organizations they're using at that time? FBI is an option, but it's like we're arguing over what group he's from when you look back at the bigger picture and you see how things went down and recordings of what people said and how they were treated. When you fit all the pieces together, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And I already don't trust the government. And so I'm not going to defend the government in this situation. I'm just looking at the information being like, that doesn't make any sense. And then what the stuff they're telling me doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to, it's just, it's a large clusterfuck of bullshit. And
yeah, I don't see how Ray Epps was working for anybody but his dumbass self.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I Fed? No, I don't think so, personally. But
then you have to answer the question of why he was treated so lightly.
And that's what I've been trying to do this entire time. You're asking me why am I like trying to excuse him? I'm explaining to you why the most likely scenario as to why here is why the FBI didn't make him a high value target.
And your conclusion is that?
Here's my opinion, if anybody wants.
Well, his conclusion is the Ray Epps spoke to the FBI and gave him his side of the story, which is nonsense because the footage of him talking shit the day before and on the day was already out there anyway. Just because he said peacefully in one statement, it doesn't neglect.
Said peacefully in one statement. The next day, he's got somebody testifying that he told him to calm down.
The FBI would have nicked him.
Let's have Aphid give his opinion. Yeah.
My opinion is they have their own videos of the same videos we're seeing and thousands more that they've combed through and looked at all these different people that they've grouped into. We've seen what the internet has focused and grabbed together of everything that they've found of Ray Epps and put it into one, major motion picture of how he's in this narrative. Well, the FBI knows that there's 1,000 Ray Epps out there that have said and done the same stuff that Ray Epps did. And, that's why, he's just another one along the list. I think the only people that have made Ray Epps special are the people that have focused so much attention on Ray Epps.
I agree. Appreciate you, Alfie. Hey, stupid question.
Close enough. I guess the only thing I would say to that is that
Alfie.
Alien life form.
I'm gonna call him
Wait, hold
Alfie.
on, real quick, Alfie. I feed it.
Aphid.
Okay. Aphid. Stupid question. Is that a green screen?
No.
Or do you actually have like all that shit set up?
He actually has that.
That's crazy.
Oh
my gosh.
He's actually in orbit right now.
Those are screens.
That's insane.
You should see the ICBM.
All right, so I've got
He can nuke your ass from there.
I've got one more section. If y'all want to get into the whole idea that the FBI was inciting peaceful people by shooting them and spraying them. Right? That's
To
one of
me,
the talking points,
that
right?
sounds very improbable.
No. Hold on. So
Well, it's
when the
interesting to me that that's a common excuse I hear, or I did hear during the left-wing riots, that they were being incited by the police shooting tear gas at them. Anyway, don't you agree with that,
absolutely. And
That's
you were
a common thing?
probably at the time you were probably like, that's dumb, right?
No. Oh yeah, I thought that was bullshit. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So why is it that that's like a valid thing now?
Because there is some video. I'm not saying that it's definite. I'm 100% on that, but I have seen videos suggest it. It is possible that I have not seen all angles, or it was a certain edit that deceived me. I am leaving that open as a possibility.
You know what, Drone Tech, I actually appreciate that. And I think I'm done with this topic now because, like, what I appreciate is that you are having the same skepticism of these videos that are coming out now that prove this one narrative. You have a newfound skepticism of them. Just like when you showed me all that shit about Jacob Blake and the narrative that was around there, I had a newfound skepticism of breaking news and how that all that shit went down. So I appreciate that. Yeah. So I think this is a good place to end this topic.
I'm not even sure what you guys are talking about, but
So here's what I'm talking about. When I watched Drone Tech and at RW, and I think Riddle was there, talk about this the first time, the night that I missed it, and I came in the middle of it.
This is what I don't understand what you're talking about. Talk about this. This is what do you said the FBI shooting at people?
Oh yeah, in the crowd. Yeah, so we were saying that I'm saying that I think one of the things that could have incited the crowd was the Capitol Police throwing stun grenades and tear gas and rubber bullets into the crowd for no apparent reason, just doing it.
And I looked into those. So you posted, I think, 2 videos.
There's a couple. So there's one of a guy like shooting some sort of gun, like a sniper, just into the crowd.
Mhm.
There's one of the body cam of him lobbing grenades. He's just like, plah, plah. And there's one where the cops like, hey, we're pissing people off with this. The people were mad, and then we're throwing grenades, and it's pissing everybody off because we're getting all these innocent people. And there's that video, and then there's people, you can see people getting sprayed just in the crowd. They're just like spraying down into people.
Yeah.
I can go find them if you want me to. I can go find them all.
So instead of just turning around and leaving,
we're so close.
Instead of just turning around and leaving, they thought, let's attack more.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. It's like once police start doing that, it's time to turn around and take off.
Right.
Probably.
Go home.
Hey, I'm with you. I would never have put myself in that position, not in a million years.
Can we have a subject change in 5 minutes?
Yes, 5 minutes.
When we finished this particular one.
Yeah, this was the last little tidbit that I did research on, anyways. Cool. But you posted 2 videos. I don't know of all the videos that you just mentioned, but when you guys had this first conversation, you showed 2 videos of one was the cop saying we're just pissing them off, and the other one was of the stun grenades. The ones with the stun grenades, there was no timestamp, but the ones of the cop saying we're just pissing people off. I know for a fact that happened after the protest was officially declared a riot, and after the people had already started getting violent. So that part of the crowd might not have been violent, but they were trying to disperse the crowd before they could, be backup for the people that are already in the Capitol.
Yeah, I'm posting clips in the private chat if anyone wants to see them.
Yeah.
Is my mic low now, RW?
It sounds
better,
good,
buddy. It's better.
Certainly interesting stuff.
There's more. For some reason, it's getting harder to find these videos. It used to be easier.
Yeah, Elon's probably canceling these people.
There we go.
Well, I could have. Hey, Drone, have you ever thought of streaming like simultaneously on X?
Oh, boom! Oh yeah, look at that one. That video I just posted. Yes, and I would like to do that. But there's a perfect video of just peaceful people getting stun grenade, man. Like,
yeah, but
here we go. Present it, then, Ryan. Present it.
That video happened after the breach.
Yep.
Really? Okay. Well, these people
present it, then I'll feature.
Like you can see that people are on the scaffold when they're not supposed to be.
There you go, Steve. I'm sharing.
got. Okay. All right. There it is.
I think that makes
Oh,
it
wait.
perfectly okay
Nope.
to just
There we go.
to just do that.
Well, it's
Well,
pretty
look at this
stupid
stun
to throw a
grenade. Look
grenade
at
right into the middle.
Yeah. Okay. Wait.
Yeah,
Hold on. Just to be
look.
clear. Just to be clear. The narrative around this is that they were doing this right here to try and incite these people to break into the Capitol, but the Capitol was already broken into.
I mean, these people are all well below. They're down on.
Yeah,
They're not even up on the
even if
stairs.
it's broken into, how does it make it
Yeah.
right? That's the
Like, yeah,
Okay,
those
wait,
guys
hold
that
on.
are
I'm
over
not
there that
saying-
aren't
hold on.
causing a problem, let's throw a grenade at them.
Hold on. I'm not saying that them throwing grenades at peaceful people was a good thing. I am saying that this was not their intention was not to incite these people to attack. They had already the people that were going to attack had
certainly
already
had that
attacked.
effect. It certainly had that effect.
It's certainly a what?
If this happened after the building was breached, that's I'm not even gonna argue any of that. I don't care. It's just it's like, what was the purpose of it in the first place? Hey, you over here
Cool.
that's
So
being
you're in
good.
agreement. You're in agreement with
even
BLM.
after it was breached, it wouldn't fucking matter. I mean,
No. It does. It matters for the topic of did they do this in order to incite these people to get violent?
Yeah, but liberal, when you've got shit going on at the Capitol doors, and then 100 yards away you just got protesters, what are you going to do? I mean, because by firing them there, then that's all you're doing is you're inciting more trouble when you've got shit right on your doorstep, rather than let's incite more people 200 yards away. It just doesn't make sense.
There's another simple explanation. Last Dance pointed out from his own experience earlier, this is a completely inept, shitty police force. Maybe they literally didn't know what the fuck they were doing and just throwing grenades out there. You know, that might have just been bad police work.
Yeah, that's just how that's just how the police disperse crowds. Like that's just how they do it. You can say it's bad, and I would agree with you, but that's.
I don't know. I think that was wrong. You don't throw it out into the middle because that could cause them to come towards you.
Exactly. They're going to go the wrong way.
What, you put all the explosions and fire at the front of them to get them go the other way, not out, way into them.
Exactly.
I mean, my point is that they weren't trying to get them to become angry and attack the Capitol. They were trying
But
to
it certainly
disperse
had
them.
that effect.
Well, I mean, that's your opinion. It just didn't look that way.
They
Based on
may
what
not
you
have
said-
intentionally done that, but I think
he's simply
possibly
stating a timeline.
unintentionally, they didn't help their own cause with
Oh,
that.
I could agree with that, Smokey Steve. But Riddle, real quick, do you think that all the videos of police attacking what was then peaceful protests in BLM, do you think they were trying to incite them to become angry and attack?
Which part are you talking about?
In BLM, do you hold that same standard? That when police attacked the peaceful protests, because there were instances of that happening.
Do you think BLM is comparable to January 6th?
And what do you mean?
Exactly what I
It's
asked.
always getting compared, so apparently yes.
Apparently to you, yes.
Yes,
So
in this instant, in order for
give
me
me
to
a
try
fair-
and test your standards, yes, it is comparable.
Give me a reasonable comparison, and then I'll answer the question.
Okay, so if there is a riot, a BLM riot somewhere in the city, most likely the police is going to try and disperse all crowds, even if that specific part of the crowd is being peaceful. If they are trying to disperse a peaceful crowd, they are going to use the similar tactics that they used at the Capitol in order to do so, regardless of if they're being violent or peaceful. It happened at BLM. It happened at January 6th. It's just how the way the police are trained to disperse these crowds.
I mean, isn't one a public land and everything else is a private organizations like looting and rioting? I mean, that's pretty much you can't really compare BLM riots to the January 6th insurrection.
Okay, but if this protest had just now had a bunch of people breaking into the Capitol, destroying property of the Capitol, fighting police, then yeah. Are you saying that like the order to disperse was probably wrong in the January 6th?
Wait. So in BLM, you had incidents where it would happen day after day, especially at sundown.
Oh yeah.
And so at the beginning of that, I'm not sure what the cops did, but I know that after a while, they, at a certain point of the day, would start doing tear gas and moving large crowds away so that they didn't have to deal with the burning of buildings and stuff from the large crowd at night.
Yep.
But if January, it's like we're comparing something that was one day after the next consistently a problem and how they were dealing with that versus an event that happened at a single day.
So, do you think that they should have just let the January 6 people stay there?
The ones that were just standing there without causing a problem that the
Oh
grenade
yeah,
happened to,
the entire group.
absolutely.
Was there no was there no chance of them trying to break in again?
I have no idea what they would have done, but I know that they weren't
I
doing anything at the moment.
I happen to know that after the initial break-in, there was a large crowd of people trying to break in again. So my guess would be that they didn't want any large gatherings around the Capitol for good reason.
That's a good guess.
Okay. In that case, they're going to try and disperse every large crowd they see, regardless of what they're doing at the moment, before the potential that they could cause harm in the future.
Right.
And these are the methods they use to do that.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like that, and you could say that yes because you were there, right? So that's good. But if ad hominem doesn't really work for people, like you say, then why should I take your word for it? Even though you were there, I didn't see any video footage from you, but from the video footage that I got, didn't look like that was working. So I don't understand how you could justify that. I mean, you could try, you could jump through
So
hoops like you are.
you can question the methods, like the effectiveness of the methods.
I do, but for some reason
what
you're defending the methods. Shouldn't you just
No,
question the methods?
no. I'm not defending the methods. What I am saying is that their intention was to disperse the crowd, not to try and incite them, which is the claim that I am fighting against.
You're
Oh,
you're
okay,
defending the assumption of.
So
of
then I
their
could just say
tactics.
these insurrectionists were their intention was peaceful, right? I could just say that.
Except for the ones that weren't peaceful,
From
yeah,
what you
sure.
saw. Oh, exactly. So exactly, except for that one grenade that was put in the middle of a crowd that was doing nothing. So it's the same thing as like what you're saying.
Okay.
Oh, that was the intention.
Do you deny that generally speaking, when a police needs to disperse the crowd, they typically use things like stun grenades and less lethal munitions?
Well, towards the
Usually they
heads.
talk to them and say,
towards
"Go away."
heads. Because I've seen many riots in London since the Summer of Love, intensely, and I've never really seen police throw like grenades or what I don't want a grenade. What was it? But throwing stuff like that at the head height, because I've seen plenty of protests, and nothing, they're getting thrown down the road, and they're exploding sort of towards knee height or below waist as a general thing. That's being thrown at head height.
I think it's going to depend on what kind of munitions you're using. That's probably typically true though. could chalk that up to that individual cop's incompetence, because I mean, was it Last Dance said that that's one of the worst police forces in America, right?
Are we sure that wasn't tear gas? Because I'm really not sure what that was.
Yeah,
I think it was a flashbang.
Okay.
That would be odd to throw a flashbang in the middle of a group because that would be the exact wrong.
Which is an explosive. Which is, like I said, it's an explosive.
Yeah, it would be to harm and not to deter.
Flashbang is just a stun.
all right. Don't do that, Steve. Wrong ammunition.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna make a lot of bang in a flash.
Yeah, if
You
that
got
goes
shrapnel
off,
on those more,
that goes off,
and
that goes
you got
off towards
you
your
know, ear
face.
concussion. You got it's a very different. I don't know why they wouldn't just use tear gas and pepper spray.
Well, they
That's
did
strange.
that also, and the crowds were also using pepper spray against the police.
I like pepper spray.
That particular one with the grenade in the middle of it, or what?
Jalapeno spray.
Or are we talking about BLM? Are we talking about BLM? Because that would be much more accurate towards BLM.
Wait, no, not that particular one, and that was throwing a grenade. There was a lot of police there. There's a lot of Gen 6 people there. They were. Wait, do you deny that Gen 6 people were using pepper spray against the police?
Do I deny that? Did I deny that? Does it sound like I'm denying that?
It certainly does sound like you're trying to insinuate that.
I've seen that. I've seen the video. I've seen the video.
How'd you get that, dude? That's crazy.
I'm assuming.
No,
You know what they say about assuming.
I'm an ass.
I said insinuate. I didn't say the word.
Me and myself is an ass. I think that's how they say it.
Isn't it an insinuation and type of assumption? So.
Yeah,
No, I'm
Johnny.
saying you're insinuating. I'm saying you're doing the insinuation.
Okay. It's all right, Cluck. That's fine.
All those people dying, John Grammaticus. Nah, we don't really pay attention to that. It's nothing apparently. Yeah.
I would agree with John on that one. We absolutely have to deal with that. That's a crazy Chinese problem that we got to deal with. south of
Yeah.
the border as well. All of it.
Damn right.
Hey,
I
Steve,
heard you
can't-
say. Yeah, yeah.
You can't just
You're
like
fine,
turn
Drone.
your back on certain things because
I
they're
know.
not as important as other things, though.
Well, it's
No,
not.
I mean that is important.
It's not turning your back on it. It's just addressing a bigger issue.
Wait, so what are we talking about now?
Yeah, but he said, "Oh, I don't even
Yeah,
see what he said."
are we good to move on?
Hey, Steve,
Yeah, we're
can
good to
you
move on.
show the screen I'm
I'm
sharing real
good.
quick?
Well,
Can what?
Liberal, because you're a special guest on here today, obviously as well. Would you like to talk about Ukraine,
Oh
Russia,
dear God.
or the Gaza Israel thing? Maybe. So
I have very broad strokes opinions on those things. I don't have in depth like really deep opinions, but we can.
yeah, I mean,
like
I
as
mean,
for
what would you, if I give you a direct question about Ukraine? I mean, what do you think the future's gonna, the near future's gonna be for Ukraine and Russia? What do you think is gonna happen there?
Future's
Are
bright.
you asking me what do I think the result of the war is going to be?
Well, yeah, that's basically what I'm asking.
I have no idea. Not even a single pittance of an idea.
I mean,
go ahead.
Welshie,
that's
Welshie, what about the POWs that just got moved to that one front lines? Did you see that article?
No,
The
I haven't.
Ukrainian POWs that Russia moved to the certain battalion front. So
To fight for Russia?
It sounds like they're trying to get them to fight for Russia. It's like how do you even do that? The article I dropped the article in the back chat, but
That sounds like a massive defecting company waiting to happen.
yeah,
that doesn't make
the
any
whole
sense.
article didn't make sense.
What is the back chat?
Well, that could be just like a
Private
you don't
chat
know.
and not comments, but private chat.
Reminds me of the scene in Braveheart when the Irish like go forward and then they shake hands with Braveheart and then turn around and go back and fight the English. How are you going to do
Yeah,
that?
great.
You're going to,
Man,
you
that's
know,
sad.
it doesn't make any sense that they're going to fight for Russia unless they are willingly choosing to do so. What is this
Well,
article?
Yeah, put it in the back chat.
Yeah,
Oh,
let me grab
please
it.
do.
So we've been talking about the obviously Ukraine Russia for a while now, and I know people's opinions have changed on the panel over the last 2 years because things things are much clearer now. But at the same stage, and it's not meant to be a trick question, but the numbers in death on both sides could be the numbers could be going into now these estimates. I can give you the top estimates, about 500,000 people on each side,
Jesus.
and around about 250,000 seems to be the bottom edge on that. Now they can argue about you got, especially I'm hearing a lot of Ukraine saying they're killing loads of Russians, but I mean I'm getting reports back the other way. But I mean, I would suggest maybe 500,000 European men have slaughtered themselves in a very small space of land in Europe, and for what? It's terrible. It's disgusting.
For a few terrible reasons.
Yeah, I mean it's a tragedy, but you say for what to the Ukrainian people? This is for their freedom and their sovereignty as a nation.
Yeah, but once again, if you actually look into the history of Ukraine and Russia, certain parts of the eastern parts of Ukraine are very much proud of their Russian roots, and they voted to be Russian.
That's what I was trying to tell Tyler a few days ago. But he
Yeah.
just said, "Oh, just because they speak Russian doesn't mean they want to be a part of Russian." Blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, you're too long-winded in your responses.
They've
But
had
let's be real
most.
here. These people
Wait,
that they're
are you-
fighting over, they wanted to be a part of Russia.
Are you talking
That's-
about polls that were conducted after Russia took over?
No, before.
Before? Oh, I don't know
Yeah.
anything about that.
This is during Obama period.
Yeah, I mean, even if like
Was it the Donbass region, right? Is that what it's called?
Donbass, Crimea,
Crimea, yeah, it started with Crimea for sure.
Kyrgyzstan as well.
I mean, if they felt that way, they wouldn't be fighting them.
No, but look, see, when you look into it, since 2014, the Ukrainian government have actually been bombing Ukrainian land that are predominantly Russian speaking and from Russian heritage
They're
on the
not even
eastern
fighting
side.
over Crimea right now, right?
No, they took that without any fight at all. They
Yeah.
annexed it in
Yeah.
2014.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
so-
happened back with the little green men.
Yeah,
with 6 guys.
and this is what's been going on. The Ukraine government has been actually bombing and shelling Ukraine land since 2014. You know, the war didn't start at 2022, 2021. It started at 2014,
Yep.
and that's the reality. And
And the
that's what we're
totally
not told in the West. You need to look into it. You're just not told it.
I
Yeah,
remember
no,
those.
I knew
that,
about the
that whole
2014
thing.
invasion.
Do you remember seeing some of the videos where there was like one guy with a shitty 6-shot snub-nosed revolver
I should not be
shooting
the
at like
owner of it for so long. What are you talking about?
soldiers shooting back with
Is that
fucking, whatever Russian AK-47s or whatever. It was really a bizarre situation, that revolution in 2014. Some of that footage was, we were getting it on Live Leak, boys. Remember?
Well, that was Russia was supplying pro-Russian rebels with
Right.
with tons of weapons, and that's how they ended up shooting down MH17. Well, actually, those were actually Russian soldiers who manned that anti-aircraft battery and shot the plane down. But yeah, there was. Go on, Dave. Go on, base.
Well, no, wasn't it a Western-backed leader to take the Russian leader out of power in 2014? That's what started that revolution at the start,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that's what started it. That's true.
And that was the West getting involved in Ukrainian politics again, because
Yeah.
they want that they want that democracy, whatever.
You're right,
Their own style of democracy.
Right.
Ukraine's
Like
kind of
personally
like, I feel like Ukraine is what they want to do in America. Like banning opposition and banning opposition media and all that.
There seems to be
It's not
some
much
of
of a
that.
democracy really in Ukraine.
Yes, to save democracy, what we're going to do, we're going to try and ban what 50% of the people in the country, roughly, voted for last time round, and that way we can save democracy.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Well, they want a
Like saving
top-down
democracy here.
observation society with what is it called? The social credit system, just like China. That's what they want. And Ukraine is the test bed when it comes to warfare.
What was the cat's name that was on the other night? Drone Tech with the long hair. What's his name? That Sansol?
Sondasol, yeah.
The
Yeah,
dude
yeah.
you had on
Yeah.
your channel.
Yep, yep.
Well, somebody
I forgot
brought
he
up
came on here, but yeah.
Somebody brought up the recent voting they had, like between Donetsk, Lugansk, the pro-Russian speaking areas or the Russian speaking areas.
Yeah.
This, was such a bastardized survey that they took.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember this conversation? Was anyone here involved with that? Riddle, I think you were there.
I
Which
was
one?
kind of drunk, I think, at the time, so I vaguely remember it, but
With
I
Sansol?
know that those, they had the referendums and stuff.
In 2022, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, that was a set. That would have been a setup on it. You're
Do
not
you know
going to
what's
get
an
a true reflection there, because obviously people have left, didn't they? You know what I mean?
It was like 98% pro-Russian or something like
Well,
that.
there's a lot of Russians that have moved there, right, over the years.
Yeah, but it was also
Go ahead. Yeah, go
completely
ahead.
dismissed by the international community as a sham.
Yeah, but it was at that stage because Russia had already gone into the Ukrainian that part of Ukraine, so they were controlling that part of Ukraine. They were doing the referendums, but they did do referendums before the new outbreak in 2021, and like in 2020 from 2014 all the way up to 2019-20, and the referendums on that eastern side were wanted to be controlled by, they wanted to be Russian. And yeah, it was down to a couple of things, obviously family roots, the language, and they did, that's what they wanted. So that's what the referendum done. That's what they voted for. But so it was it wasn't as clear cut before, but it was it was over 50% they wanted to be part of Russia. I can't remember the numbers. Try and find it out then, Steve. The ones before 2020 or something like that.
Okay, so here's one from Crimea since 2014, but it says that these referendums are likely to be molded on the one held in Crimea in March of 2014, in which pro-Ukrainian activists and journalists were detained while the local government aired Russian programming and citizens voted while Russian soldiers watched. I mean, I don't know if there was
Sounds
ones
like
earlier than
America,
that.
doesn't it?
Huh?
Sounds like America.
No.
Hey, it's something interesting segue on that. Well, it's not really a segue, but do you guys know that Russia has referendum efforts going on in Alaska?
Is that for real?
As crazy as that sounds, but they
That's
actually
insane.
have they've paid for billboards and stuff
But, like-
apparently in Alaska. Yeah, and they're promoting that should be part of Russia.
Well, Schmidt, how confident
Prove
are
it
you?
with the screenshot. Prove it with the screenshot. Go ahead.
How confident are you with the claim that the people of the Donbass region wanted to be annexed by Russia?
What dates? What dates?
Like before the Russian invasion.
What's a
What a
freight
loaded,
Ventos?
what a loaded question. I mean, what do you mean? How confident are you about that?
Well, he
Yeah,
made
I-
that claim earlier, so I just want to know how
You
confident
can
he
only
is.
you can only go off of the evidence that you see, right?
That's
You get some people
true.
saying they don't want it, and you get some people saying that they do want it.
Okay. Obviously, I've made the claim, so you can prove me wrong now. So,
Oh no, I'm just wondering how confident you are.
well, I've made the claim, so I
Okay.
said it was Crimea, Donetsk.
I mean, I got a Washington Post article right here. It says our research suggests that in a free, fair referendum held throughout Donbass under international supervision and with impartial, transparent, and inclusive voting rules that allowed those displaced since 2014 to vote, which apparently which says to me, and I don't know because I'm just now starting this research live on air. That there was some issue with people who've been displaced since 2014. I'm guessing
It
from
happens.
Crimea.
Yeah, it always happens.
Yeah, and
whenever there's a sectarian or nationalist conflict, there's this ethnic cleansing. It always happens.
Okay. So I don't know. You haven't.
Well, yeah, I
anything
didn't get to
forward.
finish. I didn't get to finish. So yeah, this tells me that there was an issue with like maybe people not wanting to displace people to vote. But anyways, I don't know that for sure because, like I said, I just started the research. The majority would be likely to vote to remain in Ukraine. However, a vote restricted to just those remaining in the Donbass would be likely to endorse joining Russia. Oh, this might be when they say those displaced since 2014. They might have been displaced out of the Donbass. I don't really know.
Or out of Crimea.
It could be out of Crimea too. Either way, war has hardened attitudes, so any
So
such
why can't?
referendum would be
But you've asked the
bitterly
question
contentious.
about getting the numbers. Can someone get the numbers up?
Well, I mean that's what I was looking for, but I was just wondering like how confident you are because right now it looks like to me that most people would have
Well,
said
you're literally giving an opinion from a newspaper.
Yeah. So let me finish what I'm saying. Right now, it looks to me like more people would have wanted
Jesus.
to. Please just let me finish. Remain in Ukraine, but I'm not very confident on that claim because I'm only getting the opinion of a newspaper right now. That's why I was asking, like, how confident are you? Did you see solid polls in 2014 and then, or 2018 or whatever?
It would be before the 2021 war or the 2022 war.
Okay, so
2022
did you
war.
see like solid polls in 2017, 18, 19, 20 that said that Donbass wanted to be a part of Russia? Like, is this a thing that you've seen?
Yeah, but I
Okay.
can't leave the internet because I'm on my phone, and as
That's
Steve
fine.
knows,
That's
why I'm
fine.
asking
I'm
people to do
going
a
to just
fact
take
check
your
for
word
me
for
if they
it.
can. In the eastern.
If you want some bullshit answer, I'll give you this. 51% confident. How about that? There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I believe the source I was given, but I didn't like cross check it. No.
51-49. Okay, Lee's in favor of this one. Still believe in it.
Well, I mean, if we talk about 52-48, like the British Brexit vote, there was a lot of controversy on that. Oh, screaming! But what you got to look at is 4% was 1.2 million votes. A lot of people.
I think Brexit's way better for you guys in the end, to be honest. Because fuck the EU. Look what they're doing to themselves.
Well, yeah, I mean, currently Germany's in a recession. France is at war. Spain is being ignored by world stream media. There's been protests in Spain for 60 days solid against the socialist government there. You won't have heard that. You won't have heard that in
Oh,
anywhere in the West.
I actually haven't heard that at all.
Yeah,
Can you post something about that, please?
yeah. I'll try to find
Put it in the back chat.
So was the invasion in 2021?
With extreme prejudice.
Yep, ram it up there.
Yeah.
Should I share some drone footage from the Ukraine so we can? This doesn't have any gore or guts, but there's people getting blown up. But
man,
sorry, Aphid.
Just so we can.
This might not be friendly for your.
Do you guys want me? I have some good footage I could share that I've.
I think this.
I'm sure you have.
I think this is passable.
Hey, Aphid, just out of curiosity, what did you want to do?
Huh?
What did you want to do? Or talk about or...
Me?
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, just like bullshit stuff, you know? More about...
Oh, like nothing serious? Like
Right.
I don't blame you.
Right, this is only...
I got no agenda.
I want to talk about something.
I don't blame you. We could do that after.
So you know that you know that coat hanger at the front, that wire coat hanger. So I'm guessing. I've always wondered what it is.
We talking abortion?
That's right here in the video on the screen.
When it touches the. Yeah, when it touches the target, that's the trigger.
I think so.
I always wondered.
That's what I've thought too.
When it touches the
It's
wire.
It's a bit like why the coppers touch the back right-hand corner of the suspect's car.
Got him.
Got the first guy.
Hold on, you're
I
showing
love
like
this.
this.
Sneaking up on him.
I'm streaming on YouTube. Should I not be?
I've seen this.
No, it's fine. This
Yeah,
isn't
I've
that
seen
bad.
one, yeah. Jumping into the car like that's gonna save him.
That's all they got, dude.
Oh, I know.
They're fucked.
Oh, so fucked. There's no running from those things.
No, there's nowhere to go.
Dude, that's insane.
A lot of guys will just be like, "Yeah, I'm dead," like that guy.
That's it.
Well, I mean, is that guy already dead or?
No, he was trying to just hide his head.
He was waiting for his at the end.
That guy's hand is.
a dead man walking.
He's got half a hand.
Yeah.
He's gonna have
Surprised
half
they don't
a
have
head.
shotguns.
He's probably fucking concussed too.
That's the last one.
All right, so what's the?
How slow it's going.
Hey, what do you think is a?
Yeah, it goes in slow under the branch.
I got a question for you guys. As a soldier, from these little explosive drones, they're a major threat that's being tested in Ukraine, right? Could be used against us, right? What do you think is a good solution to defend yourself to increase the probability without hiding behind something?
Shotgun, bro.
No.
Well, the way that they're dealing it with electrofields, aren't they? They're interfering.
EMF,
Yeah,
or whatever.
they're interfering with the signals. That's what both sides are doing at the moment. That's one of their biggest things.
But what if you didn't have that? What if you? What I'm thinking is maybe like a metallic blanket.
How would that?
Not when you see
Like
that
a
they're
magic
when they already see
It'd
you
be
on
military
multiple
grade,
angles.
obviously inexpensive, but it could work.
Well, no, these guys are watching it on camera and saying, "There's a guy." They're going to just say, "There's a metallic blanket. There's a guy under it. Let's blow it up."
Have you seen?
I
Have
mean,
you
no,
seen
no,
the
no.
It would
video?
be explosive proof.
These guys are seeing these happen in real time. So if you can pull it out, it might at least save you your life. You know, you'll be I don't know, fucking concussed at least, but
You want to be.
If you're anywhere near one of these things when it goes off, that's pretty much it because you're gonna get so much
like an
shrapnel.
airbag
and
going
you're
off
gonna
at
be
90
bleeding
miles an
out.
hour.
Yeah, I think the shrapnel is traveling faster than a bullet, and unless this blanket you're talking about could stop a rifle round, it's not going to stop the shrapnel.
Okay, so
I mean, it could.
so I found I did a
The
search.
shrapnel's not going directly at your face like a bullet is. I mean, it could, you know. You never know.
Potentially. Yeah, no, I hear you.
I did a search for polls conducted in the Donbass region, and it does look like most of the people want it to either be a part of Russia or be a special status. through Russia.
Yeah. What's the percentage, liberal?
So so if you're counting Donbass as a whole, it was 49.6% wants to become part of Russia, with another 13.3% choosing such a scenario with special status for Donbass. It was only 19.2% that sees Donbass as a part of Ukraine.
Right.
So what is your right now is the situation that Russia is only occupying this area and the people there want Russia to be there?
Yeah. So currently, Russia are occupying all areas that have previously voted to be part of Russia.
Mm-hmm. But wasn't their goal in the invasion to get all of the Ukraine?
It was.
I don't think it was permanently to take it over, but certainly to rub their noses in it. Because Putin has been threatening this for decades now, since 1991, since they said they wouldn't go east, and they keep on going east and keep on going east. So basically, they kept on poking a bear and poking a bear and poking a bear.
Who's
and it was inevitable in the end that he was going to fight back.
Who's
It is. I mean, it is true. We have said that like we're not going to expand NATO eastward, and that's just what's been happening the entire fucking time.
So you're talking about NATO, okay?
Well, I wish Lee Howell was where he's here. He's a NATO hawk.
Yeah, I mean, he gave multiple ultimatums that NATO basically just laughed in his face, and in the end, they called his bluff so many times that he had to take the bait. Sadly.
So it's my contention that after he achieves his desired result in the Ukraine, he will go no further, and I am absolutely sure of that.
I'm sure of that.
I think it's complete bullshit that people think he's going to go ahead and attack various other countries.
I am also sure.
I don't think it's totally beyond probability. I mean, I think there's a possibility of that, but
the thing is,
weird. I can kind of yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, but the thing is that we're talking. You know, I always bring it up, but I'm about bodies. I'm all about bodies. You know, even if we're on the low numbers, 250,000 men on each side. Ukraine is fucked, right?
Yeah.
There's a generation of young Ukrainian men. They're dead. The other ones are cucks. The other ones have done a runner. The other ones have fucked off to Europe, right?
Yeah.
And left their country, left their countrymen to die in the meat grinder. Okay, but on both sides now, we got Russians as well on the other side. You know, maybe the same numbers, maybe more, but it's just. I mean, I don't think there's any appetite to keep on going east for Russia, and certainly there's fuck all left of Ukraine. Ukraine's destroyed.
So if you
I think like
go ahead. You didn't talk.
You were saying how people's opinions have changed. I think Russia's opinions have changed since the war started. I think at the beginning of the war, I had more faith that they would go further, but now, I mean, they're stretched, and I think the world sees that they're not nearly as strong as
See, this is what I said to Drone, and Drone's like, "You're gonna apologize to me when they actually invade more countries." And I'm like, "No, I'm not, because they're not going any further."
Yeah, they're gonna have to sit tight for a generation, and by then Putin's gonna be out of office. So who knows what's gonna happen?
You all really think that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think they have a lot of. I don't think they have much to. If they hold on and which I've heard that there's a lot of cemeteries filled with new plots of.
Oh yeah, Russians are dying.
So they're hurting just as bad as Ukraine, and it's not like
I explain the difference.
The Russians. I don't think the Russians, the kids that are over there for doing this fighting, care as much about this war as the Ukrainians that are trying to save their land. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know. Right. I don't know if they have anything left in the tank to go further after this is over with.
Okay, well, I would hope. It seems that way sometimes, and you're right. Russians are dying. They're dying, a lot of them. I mean, geez, just from day to day, watching all the videos of huge groups of these guys dying, and just looking at the tallies every week, tons of them are dying. Here's the thing: they can replenish those forces pretty easily. I mean, not even they haven't even gotten really into the conscription and all that, or the drafting. They haven't they haven't even had to do that yet. Really, Ukraine is literally struggling to get 500,000 people
like by, or is it that? I think that's the number, 500 or 200,000.
They
Like
ain't getting,
going, trying to get people to come back, like you were just
they ain't
mentioning.
getting it. They ain't getting it.
They're
Right.
not gonna
Like
get
I don't see how they have the numbers. Like so, I've seen analysis of this before it happened, like a year before it happened, when people were speculating that it could, and I saw so many people talk about it back then, saying that this is exactly how it would end up. It would end up an artillery war, and we didn't
Yeah.
foresee the drone thing, but they said that eventually Russia would just wear them down because they just don't have the man. They're not going to be able to have the manpower, even if the U.S. keeps sending equipment, and they don't have the ability to manufacture to keep up with Russia's. Somehow they've gotten through all these all the sanctions, and their manufacturing is actually blown up.
Right.
They
Their
just sent like
sanctions haven't hurt them
2,000.
at
You say
all.
somehow, but you
Well, I
don't.
shouldn't say at all,
You
but
say
T90,
somehow.
brand new T90s.
Exactly. You've got 190 odd countries. I think it's over 150 countries are involved in what's going on, right? And yeah, everyone was whinging about the Russians and their supplying. I was getting told that the Russians are on 24/7 on supply for certain things, and they have been from the start. And I've been getting told this from the start. Um, my point I was making, what I was going to speak about, and somehow they've still managed to compete against the 150 countries that we seem to be struggling to find some of the ammo, some of the machine hardware we need. But more importantly, everyone on the panel would have heard that Putin is one, had a stroke, two, had a heart attack, three, had a fucking another heart attack, four, diabetes or some sort of other disease, another
Yeah,
terminal
I've heard
disease.
some sort of a neuromuscular disease.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to put into context, about 4 weeks ago, he stood or spat in front of the world media and answered questions for 5 hours. Okay, 5 hours he answered questions for, and they were random questions. They hold like a spatula up with like a teddy on top to try and get his attention. It's crazy. They can use anything to try and grab and there's hundreds of press. We don't get to see this, but if you Google it, you'll see him answering questions for 5 hours. So he's got Parkinson's. That was the other one, wasn't it? Parkinson's. He seems fucking perfectly fine to me. Are we just
Well,
being fucking told lies all the time? Because we are.
I will say this, Based. He's not immortal.
I understand that, but how many times have they told us that he's had all these things going on, right?
Over and over again.
He's dead and dead
one of these
and dead.
one of these times they're going to be right, just because he can't live forever.
Yeah, like a clock is. But the funny thing is, your presidents can't answer a fucking question for one question in about 5 minutes. One question he can't answer really. Let's give it to him on a silver platter, right? Putin's answering questions for 5 hours.
So it's the narrative.
Look at the face there.
It's the narrative that I'm hearing is that Russia has annexed only regions that want to be a part of Russia. Although he did have ambitions to take over all of Ukraine, but only temporarily. And that if the Ukrainians keep fighting, they're going to inevitably lose. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
Do you think that Russia would take a deal with Ukraine if they were to be like, all right, these places that have previously polled that they want to be a part of Russia, y'all can keep, but you got to stop invading us everywhere else?
In April 22, Zelensky and Putin were in peace negotiations. It's all well documented now. And what happened was Boris Johnson, who was president of the Prime Minister, of the UK, quickly went out to Kyiv and said to Zelensky, don't you do no peace talks, we'll back you, Americans will back you, Biden's given me a reassurance, do not go for any peace talks. Not peace talks, they were in peace talks, don't go for any arrangement, because they were gonna basically the land that Russia wanted now is the land what they agreed on back in 2022, April 2022. You can Google it. It's available. Put down Boris Johnson.
I remember reading about that, and from what I remember,
it's terrible.
Yeah.
Since that time, so there was February the 26th was the invasion. So basically 1 month the 6 weeks of fighting, where a lot of boys had been killed, but not the numbers that we have now.
Okay,
The
yeah.
numbers we
So
have now are just crazy.
can I just, okay, so from what I remember of that piece, Putin actually did some shit that made Zelensky not want to do the deal. It wasn't
Okay,
Boris Johnson.
I'll get the article up now. Come back.
Okay.
Cup of Tea had a he said Russia will take a deal. I kind of went back against that because I mean, if Russia sees themselves as strong right now, I don't see them taking a deal that's anything but amazing.
I would actually go back on that. I would actually kind of agree with Cup in the sense that they're going to keep everything that they already have currently right now, militarily occupied. That was the deal that's probably what Russia's going to want or will accept if they made a deal right now, which is a good chunk
I'd
of
be
eastern
surprised to see
Ukraine.
them take it. Why wouldn't they take more if they could?
Did you guys see that donkey eating pills and doing cocaine, or was?
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw a picture of
All
it.
right, okay.
No,
It was totally not random.
There
I
was
was
no
just like,
reaction. I mean, I wasn't sure if my screen share was working.
I thought that was the beginning of Aphid's A Minute with Aphid show.
No, but while we have this break, RW, I'd like to know, and I think it's the elephant in the room. Did you ask Chat GTP to come up with that background for you, or did you design it yourself?
I designed it by asking the AI generation to do it for
There
me.
you go. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the 12th attempt. It finally put the letters in the right order without
Oh,
mutating.
really?
That's good.
Nice, you've gotten good at that, man.
You
It's
guys
fun.
are good at asking,
I've been learning the different ones.
asking AI stuff. I'm telling you, man, this AI thing, it's gonna make
It takes practice to get good
It's
at.
gonna
You
even
can't
the
just,
playing
like-
field. It's gonna make the dumb people sound smart.
Did I interrupt somebody with the
You
donkey
got to be
thing?
smart to figure it out. Is the thing.
Not at
really,
all,
dude.
man.
Not as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, interrupt away.
It's a little more
I
pointed,
haven't
but
figured it out yet.
not really, man.
I thought.
Did you guys all have a good Christmas? I wanna make sure I specify that. I'm really curious to know if you guys all
I
had a
did.
good Christmas.
I had a good Christmas.
I hope you all
In
did.
the back chat, liberal.
Not everyone celebrates it who's here.
I got one of these things. I don't
Oh, that's
really know
all
how to
right.
use it yet.
Did you
Actually,
guys
I
have a
did
good?
celebrate it. So
Did
Just
you
my
guys have a good
OEU.
Monday?
Monday, there you go. The
Is that a
Monday.
soundboard? Is that a soundboard thing, right?
No, it's a stream controller.
Yeah,
It's got
that's
like
it.
macro buttons that you can for scene switching, and you can use it for
Oh.
editing too. I haven't figured it out yet though.
I was just going to ask if you'd figured it out.
And I got
Yeah,
watch YouTube videos.
I need to know how it's faster than tabs on a computer
Right.
screen.
Well, because it's one big button. You know what it does. You just
Yeah, it's
mash it.
dedicated. So you got like 10 buttons, and you can dedicate to certain like.
Yeah, I can
But-
definitely see the usefulness in a stream for like scene switching, and like if you want to like pop up a video or something, I can just like bam, bam. For
Yeah.
editing, I'm interested to see how I can use this for that. So
For
I see
what?
the-
What do you got? Stream
I see
Deck?
the Steam Deck X, yeah.
Yeah, nice, man. I've always wanted one of those, but I was too cheap. I'm a cheap bastard.
You'll be able to get one from the thrift store in 5 years, bro.
Right,
Yeah,
I know.
Almost guaranteed, yeah. Seriously.
It might be the one Drone Tech has, actually.
Yeah.
Right. What part? What part? Where's your local Goodwill? Let me know when you go.
Right. That's funny. Shit.
It's I don't know. I don't understand the technology well enough for me to not see it.
Are
as
you saying I'm not
simply
going to
a
be doing
gimmick.
this much longer? Is that the joke?
No, it's just like to me. It looks like a gimmicky technology
Right.
that I don't understand enough for me to see how it's going to take off.
Right. Well, it's been around a while.
Oh,
at
it's
this
yeah,
point.
it's been around forever, man. Like if you
There's-
use OBS, I'm sure Drone Tech's familiar with OBS. That
Yeah.
like and switching because like the way it's like if you're doing a like when I used to do a show and stuff, I would set up where I would interview people, so you'd have a different. Everything would be different, when you were interviewing people or when you would do like a Skype group call. Well, back then, I don't think. I mean, I still go on Skype, but I don't think Skype's even a thing anymore. But like a setting like this, where you got a bunch of people talking or whatever, and it's a whole you have a scene, basically,
Yeah.
and the streaming program and switching back and forth with that is convenient if you don't have to go into your settings and do it. You know, where you could just
Like
push a button,
move
and have it
around and click
dedicated.
with the mouse while you're talking
Right.
and doing all
It
that.
could make
It's
it so much
no,
more
instead I just
professional.
push the
But
button.
what is it doing? It's just putting a different screen inside of your feed window.
So when I plug it in, it brings up all these cool little icons on the pad. I unplugged it because my
Yeah,
computer kept rebooting, and I'm like, is this thing causing it? But
you showed me a picture of it lit up.
yeah, it's really neat, and so you can assign different graphics actually to the buttons and to the functions you want, and to and you can program them in macros. It's for macros basically.
Can you give me an example of, say you were streaming right now, or say
I'm
we're
streaming,
Steve
and I
using it
wanna
right
switch.
now?
So like
Say,
we're in
what
this
could you
scene
do?
right now, right? And I want to switch to a scene where it's just me, with something like on a little video above me and the thing. So I hit the button and it switches to that screen. Or I have a video I want to show you guys, and instead of like having to find it and click the I just click this button, boom, it just pops up.
It's already logged in.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like pre-programmed scripts, mostly
Yes,
for messing
exactly.
with your heads-up display.
No,
Well, you can make it do. You can make it do
script
whatever you
macros,
want,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
That you
And
assign
it's
to buttons.
easier. It you know, it takes 10 buttons to do it one way, but he can just push one button and it does it. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah,
when I did the
so
news,
apparently
when I
for
did
editing, you can do that, and just push a button.
Well,
and it'll
like
do
when you
things.
make your own, you know, if you got it down to a science, even when you make your videos, it could speed up the process of making your videos because you.
That's
if
what
you
I'm
use,
hoping.
I don't know if you use OBS for making your videos.
I do.
did.
Well, I use
'Cause
OBS.
It's just so
well,
convenient.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. OBS is great. I love OBS. I do use Streamlabs,
Mhm.
but like even Adobe Premiere, there's macros I can use for editing the videos, like
Right.
in Adobe Premiere, which could be
Yeah, and have
really
your,
interesting.
like if
I
you have
could
a
just push
green
the
screen
button.
set up and have your backgrounds, different backgrounds for different things that you're talking about
Oh
or
yeah,
discussing,
just
or
speed.
your
You can
Windows
just speed up
set up.
everything.
Right.
Adobe is still here, still around.
Yeah, it'll be around.
Adobe.
I love it. I pay for it. I even pay for it. How about that?
I don't pay for
pirate
shit
it.
unless it's free. I ain't using it.
Hey, I pirated.
That's
I
my
pirated
motto.
that shit for a long time.
Yeah, we already
just
know what he does
remember-
to Costco.
Back in the day, like if you were trying to me, I was doing at the time, a lot of research on some biology stuff. It would say like your version of Adobe is not current and up to date, and like, do you remember that? The shit would freeze your
Oh
computer.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and it
Well,
was-
Yeah,
Flash, like Flash always had to update.
Exactly. Every
Oh,
time
Flash.
it seemed like, dude, it was
Oh
like,
yeah,
what the
QuickTime.
fuck?
You remember the QuickTime was the same way.
It's crazy.
I guess
man.
Flash was extremely like vulnerable to
Yes, it was.
outside
Java,
sources.
Java updates. See that when I was a tech, that was a weird thing where you would walk into an issue with a computer, and it had something to do with Windows, and so many times the solution to the problem was just updating Java.
Yeah,
Like
right.
it's so weird that
Java-
Java from that.
JavaScript or some shit.
Right.
Yeah,
F and chat for all the games we lost on internet browsers.
it's terrible.
Hey, RW, I got a
On your
question
Windows,
for
there's
you.
a Java like driver or like software, and it needs to be updated. It used to, not anymore, but yeah.
What's up, Ethan?
Since we're talking about tech here.
Go ahead, hit 'em with it.
Last night, you seem to know your way around the Discord, and I uploaded a video last night on my Discord because I went to the skate thing, and I didn't know we could upload videos, and I don't know if is there a time limit or size limit or something? But
Size limit.
I was able.
There's a size limit
size
that
limit?
changes based on how many boosts your server has, but even as a free server, it's very, very giving for the size of the files you
Oh,
can
is it?
I didn't know if it was because it was my Discord that I could upload it, or if everybody can upload it.
You can give
but,
anyone permission or not permission to do those things. It's generally set to be allowed. So, and you have a good group of guys, so you don't have to worry about it. But if
Yeah,
you
I
had a
don't care.
large group of people
Well,
that
even if it
you
gets
didn't know,
right. I don't care if the shit
Well,
gets shut down.
The
you know,
thing
I
will
just
be
did my
silent
best.
for fucking 6 days straight. It's great over there on your Discord.
It is, man. It's
Nothing
I love it.
happens.
I think that's changed. I think there's more life to that Discord server.
There wasn't this week, bro. Wasn't this
Pretty-
week.
every
Yeah,
server
well,
was.
besides
We need to,
Last Dance
we
is
need to
Besides my
promote
dad
more
jokes.
we need to promote more cross pollination across the servers between all of our servers, because I think a lot of your guys hang out on our server, on my server. So
Well, there's
I'll
shit
try to
going on.
encourage
That's
that more.
why. So we go over there. You know.
Man,
Right, I know,
I can
but-
hear you. I can hear you, Smoke
I think-
Steve.
I think Drone Tech that we are doing that pretty
Hurt
well
my-
because
you're hurting the feels. You're
Buck's here
cutting deep.
because of your server. Riddle's here, and I pinged everybody on your server that's here at the moment. Besides Aphid, I
Well,
pinged him on his
I know,
server.
but I'd like to help these guys like get their servers more active too. We can all work
Yeah.
together.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. I
It's
think
it's Aphid's server. It's his.
Oh well,
yeah,
I chat on
it's
your
fine
server.
with it's fine with me if it's because when it gets too busy and there's like drama and shit, I don't want any of that. I don't want no drama. So if that means there's somebody talking on there, I don't want it.
Well, we do
Right, he likes
advertise
it
on my Discord. We do have like an event thing, and it shows when Smoke Steve's when this pub is going live. It shows it up in the corner there with
Does
a big
it?
green button.
cool.
So yeah.
Last dance. Will
Yeah.
you drink some gin or something? You're fucking yawning up a storm over
I'm
there.
sorry.
Yeah, I'm actually about to go to bed.
It's
I thought
it's
you were
past
asleep.
6. He's
We're dead.
tired.
Past 6.
I was
Have some
asleep.
booze.
But
It's New
rest-
Year's Eve.
Once
Eve.
Not New Year's Eve.
once Wheel of Fortune gets
I
off,
said Eve
Last Dance gets
twice.
sleepy.
New Year's Eve.
Wait a minute.
Dana
We have
White's
just an hour countdown until New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve. That yes.
All right, guys, I'm
We had
outie. I'm going to
a week and a
bed.
half here.
All right, Clark.
Have a good
I
night.
hope you got to enjoy
Good talking
yourself
to you.
and have what you were after tonight.
Yeah, it was a
Clark,
good
you're
debate. I
leaving?
feel like my research was worth it.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, it was
thanks.
good talking to you,
Thanks
as
for
always.
thanks for the debate and cheers, mate.
It's
Yep.
good to see you.
Have
I
a
think,
good
I think
one.
you need to do more of it for sure. But it's good to see you.
Bye.
Exactly, Renee.
Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Oh, that was a good debate. I will be back soon, hopefully sooner than I've been.